Welcome, everybody. We are live here at KFC in Inez. This is one of Zip Zone's many stores. KFC, Taco Bell. Coach, they've been a gracious host. No better place to have this. What a beautiful KFC.
Darryl McCoy, I'm making sure we're not still got the Zip Zone logo up. But Darryl McCoy, listen, you're really teasing me here, bringing me to Taco Bell, KFC, two of my favorite places to go. But you already know I'm having to become leaner and meaner the last few months. So, man, I'm really being tested here today, and leave it at Darryl McCoy to bring us over here. But big time show, because you know what? It don't get any bigger. It don't get any bigger in the state of Kentucky. Preseason event, the Zip Zone. Oh yeah, right here in Inez, Kentucky. Going to be a packed house, and D&D is going to be there along for the ride. Man, oh man, it's going to be a big day.
Yeah, and listen, this right here, we've done the bucket list of stuff. We've done region tournament. We've done Rupp Arena, Kroger Field. We've done games at Marshall, the Hatfield McCoy, but never done the Zip Zone Classic. It was the only thing left. And listen, what Coach Robin Newsom and JJ has put on there and built off from, it started in the early 90s, I think. Was it 80s or 90s when it started? Yeah, so early 80s, whenever this event started, used to be the Fast Lane Tip-Off Classic. And little tidbit, I once shot a half-court shot.
Right. So you shot a half-court shot.
Yeah.
I actually spoke at the Zip Zone 2007 version. I spoke at halftime.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So a lot of ties.
Yeah, a lot of ties.
A lot of ties to this event.
Yeah.
But it's my favorite events I do is every year. Since I've been a sophomore in high school, I've not missed the Fast Lane Zip Zone Classic except for the years I lived in North Carolina.
Right.
And and then a decade of doing D&D, I'm here every year. So I'm very excited for this event. This year, it's probably the most loaded field. We're going to get into that a little bit later, Coach. We'll get in after we have Coach Newsom. I think Coach James may stop by. Then we're going to talk about the sponsors with our guy Billy Davis here. He's been on the ground making sure we're able to do this thing.
He's working hard.
Yeah, working hard. But this, I'm so excited. Like I got chills even thinking that we're less than a week away of this.
Well, I'm not overstating this, and it's not hyperbole when I say this, Darryl McCoy. I've known you. We've been doing D&D now going on 6 years. And, you've been doing it longer, but me and you as a tandem, 6 years. And I promise this man right here has said there's multiple events that he does not miss each year. So he's not overstating it to hype this thing up. The Zip Zone is one of those things that he gets absolutely amped up for every single year. And why not? Like Darryl McCoy said, you got the who's who coming into town competing.
Listen, it's the day after Thanksgiving, Coach. You got Thanksgiving on Thursday. Then 2 days later, you got the Zip Zone. During the Zip Zone, you always got the Kentucky-Louisville game going on. Normally, Kentucky basketball will be playing at the same time. And Martin County don't make you miss out on that. When you go out in the foyer and you buy some of their great concession there, they got it on the big screen. The game's going live, so you don't have to miss any of it. You can walk out, check out the score, and then walk back in, check out the action.
Yeah, so you're not missing anything. They got you covered. And as Darryl said, it's from concessions to big-time players, big-time matchups. It's a big-time feel. It's a Thanksgiving tradition. We talk about wrestling a lot. It's a lot like Survivor Series, right, with WWE. This is a tradition in Eastern Kentucky and statewide. So it's really right along the lines of the Sweet 16. It's a tradition like any other.
Yeah, and listen, normally over there in front of the girls' locker room, they'll have a section set up with T-shirts. It's got all the teams and stuff. Go get you one. That's momentum stuff. That's the stuff that you want to keep around, because 40 years from now, people's going to see that. Oh, I remember that.
Right, that's exactly right.
So make sure you stop over there, buy shirts, buy concession. This whole event, and we're going to talk to Coach here in a second about that, but this whole event is to help the teams at Martin County, the athletic programs, and to help the school with what they do. You want to know why the kids have such nice stuff? A lot of it is because of what Zip Zone does with this Zip Zone Classic.
Yeah, it really is. Proceeds going back to where it should, right? The student body the student athletes, student body as a whole, academics. Martin County takes it very, very seriously. Of course, Coach Newsom, Coach James, as well as Larry James, all of them, that they really invest in the student athletes and the student body as a whole. So it's a big time event, not only just basketball wise, but across the board.
Absolutely. We got all throughout the night, guys, make sure that you leave us comments, questions in the Jim Mar Service comment section below. And we got Kobe Holland says, what do you think about Johnson Central and Martin County? You'll have to hang on until we go over the matchups here in a little bit. We got Blanche Mullins tuning in, Coach. Linda Spurlock, grandmother of Jacob Spurlock. Dwayne Mills says, thanks for coming to Martin County. Said, welcome to D&D Sports. Kendra Harris says the Zip Zone's going to be classic. And Kobe Holland says, I like to see Johnson Central and Martin County in the 57th championship.
Oh, wow.
So, everybody's ready for basketball, and that's what this event does. It lets us know basketball's here.
It's here.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Coach Robin Newsom of the Martin County Cardinals. And we might have J-Man with us, too. I don't know if he's going to step in, but we'll have Coach Newsom in here talking about the Lady Cards up next.
You're a great outside shooter, but all the talk this year has been you driving.
It's true. I'm going to be driving a Kia Telluride from Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville.
Right now, get a new Kia Telluride with up to $4,500 off the sticker.
So why Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville?
Because when others won't, Walters will.
Come shop us in Pikeville or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
When it comes to burying a loved one, you need to make sure that they're left in the right hands. That's why you need to call Crum Funeral Home, located in Inez, Kentucky. You can give them a call today at 606-298-0602, located on 498 Kentucky Route 3 North in Inez, Kentucky. Give them a call today, Crum Funeral Home.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes. If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Mar is here for you. Jim Mar is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today. And we're back here at KFC in Inez, Kentucky, Zip Zone Classic Preview Special. Kevin Keathley to my right. I'm Darryl McCoy, Coach, and we got Hall of Famer Robin Newsom with us. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yep.
Well, listen, Coach, and he got that right. The prefix on there, whatever the case may be, Hall of Fame, Coach Robin Newsom. Coach, you played, if I'm not mistaken, you played for Mickey Wells or Coach Wells at Morehead State,
Mickey
the
Wells.
legendary Coach Wells.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mickey Wells.
Now, what position did you play?
Played point guard and two guard.
She played point guard and two guard. They won an OV. You were on that OVC team.
Yeah, probably the most winningest team there at Morehead.
The winningest team at
Played with Donna Murphy.
Donna Murphy.
Basketball. Yeah.
So she comes from a big time coaching tree with Coach Wells and played on the very best Morehead State team.
And Irene Moore out of Breathitt County.
And you know Irene Moore.
Yeah,
they do that.
absolutely know Irene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she could hoop in her day.
She
Darryl.
absolutely could. All you got to do is read her resume, and it's on there. Coach, Hall of Famer, roaming the sidelines. You've how many years you been at Martin County now?
At Martin County High School, I think this makes the 7th or 8th year. But
So-
altogether, Martin County, Sheldon Clark, probably 45 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, Coach, it don't stop with Coach Newsom. She's got a daughter that is a future Hall of Famer in golf. No matter what she does, one of the best golfers ever come out of Martin County. I mean, that's not just counting Martin County High School. That's the entire county, Coach.
Yeah.
You got her, and then she's leading the golf program now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, she's Coach Scott's assistant.
Yeah. So
But
Coach,
they are ranked 14th in the country. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing. We wouldn't talk to you. We'll get to the zip zone here in a second. But you've made a conscious effort of not only are you producing good teams each and every year. You got yourself where you're in the top 5 of the 15th region every single year. Martin County matters. But the thing that I've been most improved with is the players that you're putting through to the next level. I mean, I don't know what it's being, what the exact number is, but I know in the D&D era, which we've been at this a decade, I know you put more than 2 handfuls of players. I mean, you got Lakin Williams, who went Division I. You got right now you got college coaches all over your roster right now. Got a couple kids that's got potential to play. You got Alyssa. I mean, you can go through over the years. What is it? Do you think that you playing, at the collegiate level, do you think that that's helped you get these kids prepared and let the college coaches, do you coach them to where they're going to be ready to play at that level, and does the kids, do they realize like, okay, Coach Newsom's been there, done that?
Well, Darryl, I had some great coaches. Of course, we had a great tradition. When I started, it was the first year of girls basketball had made its comeback. That was the very first year in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even have a girls team until then. And my coaches were AJ and Meriden Haney.
Yeah.
And they were fabulous coaches. We won the regional tournament, went to the state tournament 4 straight years. I think we only lost like 11 games in our whole 4 years of high school.
Wow.
So we had a really good team. I was surrounded by really good players and had great coaches. And then I signed with Morehead State University and played for Kelly Wells' dad, Mickey Wells.
Yeah.
And he was an awesome coach. And so a lot of what I was taught, that's what I do. I bring back to the program. But we just got off on a great start from Martin County basketball, and we set that tradition, and it's just kept going. And I have to give our kids a lot of credit because they work hard, and they see that they see all and they had Miss Basketball out of Bowen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One of the only Miss Basketball in Inez, or I don't think we had unless we had Billy Ray Cassidy. I don't know if
I don't remember. I think Ida was the only one that I know of.
Yeah. I think only 2 or 3 of those in the whole 15th region. But that was an honor. She went to Western Kentucky University and had several D1 players and NAIA and D2. And it's just our kids have set that tradition, and it has carried on to the younger kids.
Yeah.
And they look up to them, and they just keep it going.
Yeah, I think Ida, Jerry Grigsby, and probably Trinity Rowe was about the list of the 15th region, right?
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of anybody else.
I don't think Kathy Spinks did. She went to Tennessee and played, but she wasn't Miss Basketball. So
I don't think she won it.
But what you guys have done, coming into this year here, you graduated a large class, last year. Coming in, and obviously you're led by Macy Maynard, the big center down low, and of course sharpshooter Chloe May, McKenna Markham, Anna Lee Davis. You got a lot of talent returning, but you're having to replace a large portion of your scoring load from last year. Are these girls, and a lot of these girls have been playing for a couple of years. You do a great job of getting the middle school kids involved, and that way whenever they do go to high school, they're able to step in, and it's one of them situations where you keep on. It's like there's no rebuilding year at Martin County. And this year here, I know that you graduated a few, but I still think that even though you got young talent, that you guys are going to be up near the top of the.
Well, we do have a very young team overall. I mean, I do have 2 seniors in Sophie Harless and Chloe May, and I try to develop the whole program.
Yeah.
The last kid on the bench, we're only as good as much as she improves.
Yeah.
And so I always tell our kids, it's not okay not to get better. You need to work to get better. And so we have Chloe and Sophie, and Chloe's ceiling is that's Ida Bowens' niece,
Yeah.
and her ceiling is just unlimited. She can be as good as she wants to be. We can use her inside out. She's legit, probably 6 foot. She's worked hard, improved on her ball handling a lot, and of course she shoots it deep. So then we have Sophie Harless, who is, she's a fighter. She's not don't have the biggest size in the world, but she will fight you for everything that you get, and she hustles and plays hard. And those are our 2 kids. They're leading us, and then of course Macy Maynard. What can I say about Macy? 6'4", legit. Has a lot of draws some D1 interest, and Chloe and her, and they have some offers already. So Macy's in the top 10 of the region, and she played AAU with Kentucky Premier. And she's just probably one of the strongest girls that I've ever coached in my life. She can take that ball and she can sling it from one end of the goal to the other.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have played with her.
Yeah, right. Now,
Because night in and night out, she's got 2 and 3 players hanging all over her. And so, as a shooter, I would love to have played with her.
yeah, every single night, me and Darryl talked about this. It's almost sometimes even on the officiating side, it's kind of like Shaquille O'Neal, Darryl, where when we talk about this, that she don't get the normal call that other players.
She doesn't.
And it's something that may not be an offensive foul or a defensive foul, just because she's so physically strong, she moves a player. And that's a personal foul on Macy. And it's almost sometimes a little bit of a detriment to her, or unfair, how they kind of weight it throughout the game.
And that's been one of my biggest complaints is, Macy is so strong. When she came to me, she could make a pass to me, and it would hurt my bones. It would just be a normal pass. And she is so strong that it almost got her playing straight up and down.
Yeah.
She almost can't move.
Yeah.
Because every time she moves, somebody's, trying to take a charge, or, and if she just barely hits you, you go flying. And because she's just so strong.
Right.
And but she'll have 2 and 3 people hanging all over her, and because she can take that, then she doesn't get the call. But
That's right.
I'm not complaining, but I wish she was just given a little bit more break, because I think she is one of the best players in our region, and I think I think she's D1, and. So hopefully, we have a lot of good players in the 15th region. Our region has always, even back when I played, our talent it just goes deep. And then of course we have our guards, Annalie Davis, who's only a freshman.
Good player.
Who's one of the most athletic players that I really have ever coached as a freshman. And then McKenna Markham, who led us in 3-point shooting last year. She can just shoot the lights out of it.
Now, the piece that you lost, that I think every team has to have one to win at a high level. That and who's going to step in and fill the role of Candace Spalding? She's the one that that I think she done the dirty work. The kid that didn't necessarily look for the glory, but always done the stuff you needed to win. Who's going to step in and fill that role?
Well, Candace was a great player for us, and she was dedicated to us, and she stayed with us. She played in middle school also, so I had her for 5 or 6 years, and she done a real good job her senior year. It would have to be Sophie Harless can play there. We can play Chloe May on the inside some.
Yeah.
So they will step in and take up that slack for Candace.
I've got a question for you. I know Darryl's wanting to talk about the zip zone. I say this on the women's side of basketball in the 15th region. I don't think there's anybody better than you at controlling tempo, or at least managing what you want, whether it's to speed the game up or slow the game down. You're as good as anybody. With a younger team coach, does that change? Or are you going to be able to be as as clockwork? Are you going to be able to are the girls going to be able to be patient enough? If you know what I get, sometimes younger players aren't as patient. Are you going to be able to play the same way you want to play?
Well, I mean, we've been working on this, for a long time. I've even had my guards watch videos and everything, and Annalee's so fast. She's got one speed, and it's just go.
Right.
I mean, she's one of the quickest kids that I've ever coached.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like she's got a turbo speed.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've told her that fast is not always good.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a scrimmage, actually, and she done a real good job of trying to control the tempo. And I've told them if they will just listen and work with me, we can get through this. And
Right.
But them two, McKenna and Annalee, by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they're quick. They can shoot the ball. They can get after you on defense. And they're just two special kids. And every time the gym doors open, they're in there.
They are. I can attest to that, Darryl. When I go in there, they're working.
Yeah.
Sundays, they're working. And they're nice enough, by the way. Coach Newsom, this is what's great. Coach Newsom let us on the other side to work. But man, oh man, those young ladies are working every single day after practice. There's several of them after practice working with Coach Newsom and the assistants. And then on Sundays, they're there every single day. On the weekends, it's unbelievable.
That's what I love to see.
Well, and I'm not just saying this, but I've had them watch your son. I'm not lying to you. I'm not saying this, for any reason. I'm just telling you that I've never seen a kid with that work ethic.
I
In my
appreciate
45
that.
years of
Yeah.
basketball, I mean, that kid has the best work ethic of any high school kid that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I appreciate that.
And
yeah.
I've had my kids watch him, just how he does his ball handling drills. Everything he does is hard. He never slacks off.
Yeah.
And it's just phenomenal for him at that age. And don't know what you done to do that.
I don't
but
either.
whatever it was.
I don't either, Darryl. Do you?
I wish we could bottle that.
Right, I do too. Yeah.
Well, you hear about it before you know him, and every coach in their region hears about it, but until they actually see it, they don't believe that he literally lives in a gym. So.
He's there probably 3 or 4 times a day. I mean, he's coming in and out, and I mean, and when he goes hard at everything. I mean, it's just a different speed. It's just a different pace.
It is.
And
He's different.
And it shows. He is different. It shows. His hard work shows in his games. So it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's really
Thank you.
fun to watch.
Coach, let's get to the reason we're here. That's the Zip Zone Classic. You guys have done a tremendous job every year of building this thing, since it started. This year, looking at the field, and we're going to go over matchups later in the show, but, there's no off games. Game 1, and by the way, there is a middle school game that's not on the graphic, but it's Martin County versus Lenore. That's going to be a heck of a ball game. And then, you got Paintsville Huntington High. But, you're taking on Phelps this year. This is the first year in a long time I've noticed y'all have not been playing Tug Valley. Just talk about, you got one of the state's leading scorers coming in Callie McCoy. What went behind the matchup of, letting Phelps fill that spot at Tug Valley?
Well, actually, we had invited Tug Valley, but for, I don't know what reason they couldn't come, but he had probably another game or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we always try to get them because that was not only does Zip Zone have stores in that area, they always want us to include Tug Valley. And so we always invite them. And then plus it's Kennedy Mullet Zip Zone game. And so that was her team. She went to Tug Valley before she came to Martin County High School. So we always tried to get them. So when we couldn't get them, then I reached out to Justin at Phelps, and he took it up immediately.
Such an amazing way to honor Kennedy Millette, and a game in the biggest preseason event in the state of Kentucky, and y'all naming and honoring her during a game. Hats off to you guys for doing that, because I guarantee you, nobody will ever forget Kennedy Millette, because of the Zip Zone Classic. And I'm sure if you grew up and knew her, you wasn't going to forget her if you knew her anyways, was you?
No, that's one of the hardest things in my 45 years that I've had to ever go through was the loss of Kennedy. And it was just like losing my own child. And the people of Zip Zone, they're just first class. And they are the ones that came up with naming the game after her.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, that affected our community so bad. And I mean, it was just devastating to all of us. And we try to honor her every way that we can. We never will forget her.
Yeah.
She meant so much to our program, and she was such a she was just a fighter and such a leader that, you know, you don't replace those type of kids. And just a tragedy. You know, don't know why things happen, but it did. And we miss her. And every time that, not a day goes by that I probably don't think of her.
Yeah.
And her family is just so special to us. And we were truly family.
Yeah.
And we just try to help out in any way that we can.
Or Coach, in that game, you got the Phelps Hornets, you know, and as I mentioned, you know, you got Callie McCoy. Hats off. I'm glad that you picked Phelps because, you know, they don't always get on the biggest stages. You know, Phelps don't. And, you know, they play a lot of them Virginia teams over there. And, you know, this is a huge stage for that young lady. You know, just talk about, you know, was there other choices or was Phelps, you know, was that your decision or?
Well, that was my decision to reach out to Justin because, you know, our former principal, Brian Charles, is from Phelps.
Yeah.
And so I thought the world of Brian. And so me and Justin's good friends. And I knew that, you know, his daughter had been ranked in the top 10 in the region. And I knew that, you know, he would want to do that. And it was kind of late.
Yeah.
So Justin he accepted immediately.
Yeah.
And because he knows, you know,
The value of
the Zip Zone Classic and the publicity and all that. So he jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah, and you know, there's one girls' game in the midst of the boys. You know, could we ever see another girls' game added, or you know, is that?
We have had a couple girls' games before in the past. I'm sure that if we brought that up to Zip Zone, they would be in favor of that. But we just always had the one girls' game.
And I think with the explosion of women's basketball, not necessarily also regionally, but nationally, I think adding a girls' game would be another one consistently would be big time.
I say Coach Newsom just does a girls' zip
right,
zone.
Yeah.
Right. And let's do this thing. Let's run this thing back.
Right.
Yeah. But you know, coming in, you know, your girls that do that. I mean, the zip zone's always special to me. I don't miss it. You know, but when you take it and your girls that do they get as excited as I do coming and watching it, playing in it?
I'm telling you, it's a favorite time of year for our kids. They look forward to it every year. I don't know what we'd ever do if they didn't have it. It's just such a big event for our community. And I mean, you got people that come from several states, and they look forward to this event. And it's not just in Kentucky. They're coming from West Virginia, Ohio. Coaches are coming from all over to scout. I mean, we've even had Coach Cal here attend it. And the players that we have had, the caliber of players that we've had is just phenomenal. And we can't say enough about Zip Zone. I mean, it is truly the road to Rupp. Because a lot of the teams that have played in this event will go on and win the state championship, or they'll be right there in the thick of it during the Sweet 16. And Zip Zone, what they do is phenomenal because they bring their workers to the event. They run the concession stand. They provide all the concessions. They have workers at the gate. Anything, they run the hospitality room. And it's all done by their workers. And I don't know of any other.
And all proceeds go back to y'all's athletic
program. It goes back to the schools. A part of it goes back to the school, and then it goes to girls and boys basketball, and then the school uses it forever how they see. If the minor sports need it, then it goes to help them or the academic program. And so I've never seen another business do that, what they do. But it is something that our community looks forward to each and every year. And if you've never been there, I'd encourage you to come out because it's probably just like a tournament atmosphere, like the district tournament, the regional tournament. I mean, most of the time, the gym, especially of the evening games, will be packed out, and it's just a great way to start the basketball season.
Well, I was just going to say, Darryl, I was talking to Darryl when we first went on, and I got a phone call. Steve Lemaster, who works in the media, had said, "Coach, they got you pegged in to come and speak at the Zip Zone. I didn't know what it was. I had been away coaching for years, and I was like, well, no, it's like, you need to go there because it's an important event for that community to see you. They said it's that big of a deal where it will be packed. I was like, for a preseason?
Yeah.
But sure enough, I got there at halftime, and that place was packed. It was a big-time feel and a big-time event for a preseason event, Coach. It's that big.
It's the biggest, in my opinion, it's the biggest preseason event in the state of Kentucky. And when I was athletic director, getting the teams and everything, you don't really have to work hard to get the teams because a lot of times most of them are calling you wanting it. Because Zip Zone also pays the teams to come.
Right.
So they are out a lot of money on this event.
Yeah.
And I just can't say enough about James Mills and Jim Booth. They support this for our community, and we really appreciate everything that they do. And it's one of our biggest fundraisers for the year. It helps us out, and it goes towards the kids.
Yeah, and that's what's most important. It all goes back to the kids, Darryl, and that's bottom line. If you're bringing in that much attention to a community, that much into a program, but it's going back to the kids.
And the kid, it makes the kids feel really special. I mean, that's one of the biggest games of the year for them. They look forward to every season. They look forward to the Zip Zone Classic.
Yeah, and as you said, it is the biggest preseason event in the state of Kentucky. But you tell the kids, the players, the schools that's playing in it, they don't treat it like a preseason game. I mean, if you're a top player, you're playing in that event. There's no taking games off, playing half your team. Everybody comes to win.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had some of the greatest games, one-point games and overtime games, and they compete, and they want to put on a show because they know that it's a top event in the state. And, I can't name all the best players that have played in this, but down in the past, we've had Allen Houston.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we had Travis Perry and Trent Noah.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Shelvin Mack, I think one year he come in and he got like 40-some points in the game that he played in. So, it's just unbelievable what they have been able to do here with this event.
Yeah, they absolutely, Coach, and I am stoked again, and I appreciate you guys having us there. This year, we just hope to, we want this to be the biggest and the best ever. We want this place that, like it is every year, from the get-go, to be packed out and these kids to witness that kind of atmosphere, that district tournament, region tournament feel, and again, we appreciate everything you're doing and allowing us to be a small part of it.
Well, we appreciate you coming and being there with us to do this. I think this might be the first time it's ever been live streamed.
I've never
I don't think it's ever been live streamed before, but I'm really encouraged the fans to come out to the gym and feel the atmosphere. And our kids they'll play their hearts out and give it everything that they have. Going back to my team, I do have a lot of young kids this year. Over half of my team is middle school kids, and this will be the first time that some of them have been a part of this, and I know that it's going to be a great experience for them. And there was one kid there I didn't get to mention is Desiree Gullett. She comes in off the bench for us, and actually she started in our game today that we played against Bingo Central, and she does a real good job for us, and she can really shoot the basketball.
Yeah, and she's one of them players that I could see stepping in Spalding's shoes because she don't care to get scrappy.
She can, and I had forgot to mention her.
Yeah, the coach.
She's a great kid and just does anything and everything you ask her to do.
Yeah. I appreciate you and your coaching staff for coming out here tonight. I know you definitely don't want to leave without giving props to your coaching staff. Tell us, some of your coaches on your staff and what their role in this team is.
Well, I'm not just saying this, because some of them are sitting over here, but I'm not going to lie to you. I think I have some of the best people as my assistant coaches that I've ever had in my life and that any school will ever have. Of course, I got my daughter, who just got out of the hospital, by the way. Had some kind of freak thing with an allergy attack or something, I don't know, but it was pretty serious at the time, but she is out now. Boo Newsom, and she does so much to help me as far as she does all the graphic work, all the promotion on the the slicks and everything, and all the coverage for the girls that goes out on the social media. She does all that, the stuff that she does behind the scenes. I could never do this and run this program without her. Then you have Allie Scott, who's been with me, who was a former player. Both her and Boo was both former players in the program, and they give it everything they have. Allie is just there, and I've seen her grow, and I think she would be a great head coach someday.
Yeah.
I really do. She has learned so much. She coaches our elementary team, and of course me and Boo is the head coach at the middle school team.
Yeah.
So we coach it all the way up. And I help her because she's got high school golf at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus she's helping you, Pike, as an assistant. I don't know how she does all that she does, but anyway. Then you got Lance Tackett, who is a young coach. He's a JAG teacher at the high school, and he has really come on and surprised me, and he loves the game. And we have taught him a lot, and he does a lot of the individual workouts, and he's doing a phenomenal job working with these kids. And I wouldn't want to miss one of his workouts. He's gotten that good at it. And then Mark Tiller and his wife, Brittany Tiller, came on to help us as volunteers. And Mark played for the Cardinals back a few years ago. And so he's real good to help us out. And then, of course, Jason Whippenstedt, who works at Tim Short, but every time he can be here with us, he comes. And he can't be there a lot, but he supports us financially. And he knows the game, and he's just a great friend. But all these, they're so good for the kids, and they're good with the kids, that I wouldn't want anybody else over my child.
Well, I'm glad you said his last name, because I just call him J-Man because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, well.
Coach, last question. Boo Newsom ever beat you in basketball?
No.
Have you ever beat her in golf?
No. And I never could. I don't know. Boo's golf game was God-given.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious when I say that. Nobody in my family played golf. And when I got out of basketball, when I retired from Sheldon Clark High School, my oldest daughter, Caitlin, had went on to sign a scholarship at Hillsdale College.
Yeah.
And she played ball there. And when she left and I got out, Boo had never played basketball without her family.
Yeah.
And so she said, Mom, I don't think I'm going to play. That's when Tim Rice came on board.
Yeah.
And I said, well, go to summer practice. If you don't want to play it, then we're going to pick up a golf club, and we're just going to go have fun. And I took her to play golf and took her to the golf course. Never played golf in her life. And she started hitting that ball, and it was going straight down the fairway. And I thought, oh, God, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, I traded that orange ball in for that white ball.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to become an all-state golfer and All-American at UPike. So
Coach, she's an elite
Yeah.
golfer.
I've been told. Yeah, by several people.
It's insane
Yeah.
how good she is.
Yeah.
But Coach, again, we appreciate you with the Zip Zone, everything that you do for the community. I know you're a big part of that, and hopefully you guys can get a big win on Saturday and start the season off right with that win. And we look forward to covering you this year, because I know you got a ton of young talent, and I think that you guys got a legit shot. I know preseason, a lot of teams have y'all ranked pretty high, but people don't realize how good y'all's young talent is. So I think y'all's going to shock a lot of folks.
well, I think as long as my kids, like I said, it's a mixture, and it's kind of a different mixture. I've not really had that many young kids before, with just a few older kids, and so I mean, but they're all working hard. They're trying. They're giving it everything that they have, and they've all got good attitudes so far. And we appreciate you promoting our kids and in this area, and everything that you do, and we appreciate that, and look forward to competing this year. And I told the kids, we're going to give it the best shot we can give it, but if we don't win, we're going to keep trying to get better. So if we can just be better by the end of the season, that's our goal.
Well, I'm a true Martin County, and hopefully one day my daughter grows up and they will play for you.
Well, come right on.
So guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Again, thank Robin Newsom. Zip Zone Classic Preview Special continues up next with Coach Jason James.
Unfortunately, water, mold, or fire damage can happen to you. Restoration One of Southern West Virginia is available 24/7 to help take the stress out of your mess. Our primary goal is to respond and restore your property back to normal as quickly and safely as possible. When disaster strikes, Restoration One is your go-to cleanup crew. Save our number now in case you need us later. Whether the job is big or small, give Restoration One a call. 304-443-4959.
Getting ready for sports means protecting those eyes. Up to 90% of sport-related eye injuries can be prevented with proper eye protection. White Eye Care knows this and is committed to providing the best protective sportswear for your child's eyes. As a proud sponsor of our community sports programs, we want to see our kids protected, from the little ones up to the big leagues. Our huge selection of eyewear makes finding that perfect pair easy. So win big this season. Call White Eye Care in Logan for an appointment today.
Come on down to Ultimate Pond, located in Kermit, West Virginia, where we have all your firearm needs. Need cash? Trade in your gold today. From custom rifles and rifles accessories to the bare bone stock of pistols, we have it all. Come see us today at Ultimate Pond.
Welcome back, guys. Zip Zone Preview Special. Got Kevin Keathley to my right. I'm Darryl McCoy. Was joined by Robin Newsom a while ago, head coach of the girls Lady Cards. And now we got the head coach of the boys team, Coach Jason James, decorated coach. Coach, one of the few active coaches in the 15th region that has region titles, Coach.
Yeah, multiple region titles, right? Yep. Class A title, yep. Region runner-up. I'm not going to, Coach James says, don't make my head too big on this now, but he's been as successful as anybody in a 15th region over the last decade.
Yeah, we've had a really good run. We've played in the regional finals 3 straight years in both the All-A and the big one, the 15th region. Been lucky enough to win 2 of them, 2 of each. So it's always a blessing. But I've been blessed with great players. So much as I like to take the credit, some of them guys that come through, they carried me along the way.
Well, you're one of the best. So what I tell people in Martin County, they don't rebuild, they reload, Coach.
Right.
And somehow, Martin County, you build a program here, and I always tell people it's the stuff that you do with your kids. Taking them on trips, taking them, playing in some of the biggest showcases across the state. I mean, you truly get that part of it, and that's why I think a lot of kids, is attracted to Martin County. It's just because they want to get what them other kids have.
Well, it's really about getting the kids seen, getting them exposed. Like this year, we're in the Arby Classic, which is on the same level as the Beach Ball Classic or the City of Ponds. I mean, you look at those teams.
Top 20 nationally, Coach, event.
I asked myself, why am I doing there? But no, man, it's awesome. They invited us. It's invite only, and they invited us, and I said, well, absolutely. And first team we're playing is Hamilton Heights, who that's where SGA graduated high school at. So it's a great experience. Hopefully our kids get up there and put on a good show, and that's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah, coming, and we're going to get to the zip zone in a second, but, last year, you lost a large portion of your productivity. I think you lost 3 seniors out of the starting lineup. Just talk about, last year, the boys that graduated, what they meant, and, what are you replacing them with this year?
Well, we had, you look at Peyton Davis, who's played since his 8th grade year for us. Just a great player, great shooter, plays hard all the time, just a wonderful kid. And then we lost Braden Eastep. He's another kid that went unknown just because, in front of him was Luke Hill and Braden McKenzie and Jake Sturgill and some of those really good players. So he didn't get to play as much varsity. And he kind of went unknown, but I knew he was going to be great because he's such a tenacious defender, and he was a good three-point shooter. He's a kind of 3-and-D guy, and he'd do anything you ever asked. And then Parker Watts transferred over last summer, and we went down Western and played there, and we played some of them Louisville teams, and they couldn't guard him. I said, I said we're going to be pretty good. I said Parker can play, and Parker was awesome. Sometimes I feel like he had a little bit of baggage that, you know, he's got in trouble or this and
Yeah.
that. The school loved him. I mean, he was awesome throughout our school. He was awesome for me. Just a great kid. Everybody likes him, and one heck of a basketball player.
Yeah, he definitely was a human highlight film.
Yeah.
You know, the kid put on a show, and you know, like you said, you know, with Parker, you got to be ready day in, day out to coach him, because you know he's going to bring it.
He liked to play when the popcorn was popping.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
there you
Now,
go.
A few minutes ago, he was up at the school. Matt Linville, another great player.
Yep.
I was up there playing with us a little bit, so it's just great to see those guys.
Yeah, the Coach James coach has had 2 Lathan Hall Award winners, Defensive Players of the Year, in Matt Linville and Peyton Davis. So you know, that was something. And then you had Estep. You know, he was a kid that, you know, shockingly, you know, at his size, you know, he was one of the best rebounders I've seen at his size.
Yeah, he was just tough-nosed kid. You know, played hard, didn't know anything else other to do, play hard, and do anything I asked him to do.
You know, last year, you know, of course, you know, I mean, you fell a game short. You know, normally, you know, more times than not, you're going to end your season at Rupp. But, you know, last year you fell a game short to an amazing Lawrence County team. You know, coming in, the boys that's coming back, you know, did they truly soak in that feeling of, like, you know, we don't want to feel that again?
Oh, it hurts. I mean, it hurts the players. It hurt me. You know, it's a lot easier losing that first game of district than it is the regional championship. It just it stings.
Yeah.
You know, and we know we didn't play our best game. Congratulations, Lawrence County. They played a great game. They got hot at the right time, and you know, we just didn't shoot as well. We got in foul trouble, and it's just one of those things. You know, and Lawrence is really good too. So, you know, congratulations to him. But it just hurts, you know. It took us a while to get over it, you know. Peyton and Pat Parker and Estep, and but you know, that was their last chance at it. So
Lawrence County had one of the best runs I've ever seen, region tournament runs. I mean, it was a magical run. It was like it was meant to be, you know.
Yeah.
And you hate to be on the other end of it, but you know, Coach Chandler Thompson done an amazing job.
Yeah.
And but Coach, you know, when you sit here, you know, of course you can give you and the players, you know, the credit, but you know, I think a lot of what makes Martin County special is this community. You know, of course, you know, Coach Keathley, you know, his son plays for you this year. I brought my son to play for you, and one of the big attractions was the community. Night in, night out, you have a region tournament atmosphere there at Martin County. You know, just how do you get that? You know, how do you get people coming out in this day and time when it's hard to drag people to the gym? How do you get that every night?
they just love basketball here. You know, they understand basketball. They're, you know, even during other sports, they're talking basketball.
Yeah.
You know, before I went to practice, a buddy of mine that works at prison, he was texting me about the SI article on Braxton with the UK, and I'm like, he just got, you know, he just left Purdue a week ago.
Yeah.
You know, Purdue spent more time in the top 5 than any other program in the country last 5 years. So they're like, man, this would be awesome. You know, obviously because he's a huge Kentucky fan. So he said this would be awesome. I'm like, we're hoping. You know, you never know. He keeps you know playing the way he's playing, progressing. No one's going to outwork him. So
no, that's for sure.
He's got all the things are lining up. I'll put it that way.
I know Coach Keathley. He'd like nothing more than to see him in that blue and white one day. But you know, Coach, you know, coming in this year here, you know, of course, you got the state's leading scorer. You know, probably the biggest rock star in the state of Kentucky. You know, right now. You know, I mean, of course, you know, you got Reese Davidson and all them seniors, but you know, Braxton Keathley, you know, has the nation's eyes on him, and you know, in return, you know, kids like Bryson Dawes, you know, kid that, you know, coming up, you know, played a big part in what y'all done last year. Got a really high upside. Eli Mills, you know, Alan Moore. You know, the old kids are going to benefit from playing next to Braxton. You know, and you know, have they soaked in, you know, how fun of a year it's going to be with Braxton on their side?
Oh, I think so. I mean, they, you know, Bryson was out with a knee injury there Saturday, but the other guys, I mean, they were trying, you know, Coach Hancock does a great job. They were, you know, and Braxton's just, I mean, 47 and 12.
Yep.
I mean, what do you want? That's tough. I mean, I'm not sure he broke a sweat, to be honest with you, and it's nothing. And Knott's good. I mean, you're going to see Knott here in a
really
week or two.
good team,
They'll be a contender over there.
They'll be in the semifinals of the 14th.
Yeah, and but those guys, you're going to guard Braxton one-on-one. He's going to be very tough. If you're going to double him, you got Dials, Mills, Markham.
I didn't mention Devin.
Devin, who was a freaking beast today at practice, and all of those guys, you're going to double and triple Braxton. Then you're going to have to pick. You can't leave those guys open because they're shooters. And then Maynard's so athletic. Like I think he's probably the most athletic kid in the region. And then of course Big Al sets screens. He rolls. He finishes good. Braden Markham, who has been phenomenal so far, just defensively, offensively. He's been really my surprise so far. I knew he was good. He's young for a sophomore age. I'd hoped he had stayed back, but he come up with those kids, and it's clicking for him, and he just finds a way to fit in. You know what I mean? And
I was going to say, Coach, there's two young student athletes I was going to bring up, and he's one of them. Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is Coach David Smart, Pacific, was in practice for 2 days, and he's checking out practice, and we're talking back and forth, and he starts bringing up, who's this kid? Yeah. And it's Markham. Yeah. And I think he saw it even before I did. And even long after that, I think he wrote Braxton and said, hey, how's number so-and-so doing? Because he didn't know him by name. And he was like, that kid can be a very important part of this team, just how he plays. Yeah. And that's coming from a future Naismith Hall of Fame coach. He saw that in 2 days. Oh, yeah. Something maybe other folks don't see and couldn't see at all. I didn't see it to that point. I knew he was going to be a big part of it.
Well, that's what I was telling some of the other guys. I'm like, we're in practice, and he just contributes. He's involved. I'm not running anything for him. I'm not doing anything special for him, but he finds a way to either score, assist, rebound, steals, just whatever it is, whatever I need. And it's not nothing that I'm doing to get him open. He just plays, and he just knows how to play. Yeah. And so he's been awesome so far.
And the other kid, and I probably saw that immediately, and I was like, man, oh man. No. He's very, very good. Mr. Alan Moore. Yeah. Darryl, listen, and I know you've sung his praises, but you watch that young man in person, and you're like, he has everything for his position in the 15th region. Every single tool you need to be dominant in his role, and he does it. It's almost Connor Napier.
He could be a Connor Napier.
Connor may be a better outside shot, but he's probably
his motor may be a little better than Connor.
Just unbelievable, Coach.
Well, Alan, and I told his parents this, and a year or two ago, he's probably my least favorite player at times because he has a lot of talent, and sometimes he could be a little lazy. But now last spring, something has clicked, and he went from that to being that I told his parents he's been my favorite player so far because he's screening, he's rolling, he knows how to play. He's just he does all the little things. Like you put him in the middle of the zone. He's very smart. He knows how to read it. Yes. He zooms really well from the top, and he's been awesome. Like he's another one of the main reasons that he's going to surprise a lot of people because I don't think people anticipated him, and we're counting on him big time.
Yeah, when Coach was asking me, what exactly does Martin County have, Darryl? I was like. Alan Moore's got a very high upside, and his body transformation, that right there tells you the work he's put in.
And he can move, he's not slow. I mean, he can move now. He moves real well with his body. He's high IQ.
Sets good screens.
He sets great screens, and he likes to set screens. Yeah. So him and Maynard both, they're not afraid to make contact.
Well, him and Braxton get along well.
Yeah.
When you sit there, and that's one thing you're seeing, now, and I know, Coach, we'll probably talk a lot about it throughout the year, but, this is your first year getting to Coach Braxton, an elite scorer, state's leading scorer coming back, 34 points per game last year. When you sit there, but now you're seeing, like Braxton, I've seen these last few performances and then in his AAU season, he's starting to feel the stat sheet. He averaged a double-double last year. One of the few players, I think the only guard maybe to average a double-double. And but his assist part of it, picking up. And your team, I always say that the two things about Martin County is Coach James you're the best at spacing. You know, the spacing, and the other thing is, you know, and I know with my son, he had a hard time getting it because, you know, he was a driver, you know, and I told him, I said, all you got to do is hit tough threes, you know, and, you know, because your system's set up to, you know, shoot, you know, hand in the face 3-pointers. And that's where this year, you know, Braxton, and you're starting to see in that Sports Illustrated article where Kentucky, talking about him maybe being a fit at Kentucky, they was talking about him at point guard, you know. Eli Mills, Bryson Dawes, two of the best shooters in the region. Braden Markham, and, you know, we still not talked about Aiden Copeland. Listen, Copeland and Markham was the surprise of the summer. You know, them two together. You know, offenses hated to see them two, but you know, this year here, you know, with Braxton, they're able to draw that. Is this team, you know, Parker done it, you know, to perfection, and you have maybe one of the best shooters the region's ever seen in Peyton Davis. You know, but, you know, Braxton can do that same thing at just a higher level. You know, are you excited with your shooters, you know, the opportunities that Bryson Eli is going to get this year?
Yeah, I really, truly mean it's not out of the possibility that Braxton could average a triple-double. Like, because I think two's given, because he rebounds it as good as any big guy, you know, on a guard. He's a guard, you know, and it's not out of the possibility because I think two of them are already given, and then, you know, 8-minute quarters, that's hard to ask, but it's not out of the possibility. He'll have several triple-double games. You know, to average that, I don't know, but I mean, he scores, he rebounds, and then you got shooters, and you're going to double him, and those assists are going to pile up. So it's going to be, you're going to have to pick a little bit, pick your poison, I guess you'd say. And, I mean, he's just really good. You know, I mean, makes other guys better. Other guys, you know, kind of the road. You shoot good and you attack closeouts good. You're gonna have a really good year for him. You know, and understanding when to roll up, when he comes off ball screens, and you know, things like that. But we've got some really smart players. You know, obviously Bryson will do some of the stuff that, you know, with Parker coming off. You know, Braxton will do some of the same actions where he's coming off to reading whether he scores or assists, and then Bryson, you're attacking closeouts on Bryson, you know, or you're leaving him open for threes, or same with Mills, who's a great catch and shoot 3-point guy, and then Devin rolling down the lane. I mean, I think offensively we'll be all right. You know, hopefully we can learn to play defense. Hopefully play the defense a little bit.
Well, and that's where you fell short. You know, last year. You know, but you know, and imagine you had such a great defender in Davis. You know, but still was, you know, that was kind of your Achilles heel. But you know, scoring's never been a problem. And like I said, you know, you're setting up your coaching staff. You got an amazing staff. You know, Jared, Mastermind. You know, PJ, Penix, Kevin Dawes. You know.
Well, we try to create tempo, so we don't want, you know, essentially we don't want to play a low possession ball game, because I think the higher possessions, we're going to put enough pressure on you with our offense. So, you know, sometimes teams do score a lot of points on us, but that's kind of a little bit designed. We want to force, you know, shots, you know, so we want to press and get after it.
Not to cut you off either, and I've always said this because my teams are high up tempo, and we put a lot of points on the board, but then I'll hear people, Coach Keathley teams don't guard. Well, no, I say look at the point differential. If you check the point differential, that tells you everything you need to know.
You can manipulate that. That's right.
If you're +7 on point differential, you're guarding pretty good, because now you're +7. Okay, that's a solid win. Defensively, you've locked them down. Pretty good.
And by chance, the more possessions you get and the way you play offensively, the other team's going to get more shots.
If you play slower, the other team's going to score less. You know, and same with us. And you know, we led state scoring last year, 80 points a game, and that's pretty neat.
And I feel like also, and I don't think it was necessarily the half court defense. I said this all year, Darryl. We said this probably game one. I know Coach James. Every time I see him and we're on air, I say this, and I said, you know, the only thing that can maybe get this team in the end is transition defense. I felt like last year, maybe more so than ever before, and you're going to give up buckets in transition if you're up tempo. You just are. You got to go ahead and accept it. But I think feel like more than maybe what you should, it was that transition defense that got you beat at times.
It was, and you know, sometimes, you know, the guys take plays off, you know, and then that play you don't run back in the first quarter, even though you say you lose a game by 2 or 3 points, that play just matters just as much as the one at the end of the game that everybody kind of remembers.
Right.
But, we say that all the time, but it's just getting back, get back on defense, stop the ball, make teams work to score, and then get it and go.
And y'all have always been known for defense because, you got, Jared Crum, one of the best defensive minds in the 15th region.
Oh, yeah. He spent an hour yesterday on film with them on their defense.
Yep.
So,
And go ahead. You go ahead,
But
Darryl.
when you got a Parker Watts, at times you got to trade that because sometimes he's going to cheat on defense and maybe not do what he wants for that breakout dunk. That can impact the game the same way as maybe a stop can on the other end.
Yeah, they like to gamble. They'll gamble some. Parker and Devin will gamble some too, and some of you want them to gamble because you want them to get some easy baskets, get a couple of steals, which leads to easy baskets.
Well, I think Devin, the key to this year team, I think Devin's got to do what he's capable of and be an elite rim protector. I seen him last year when we first come there. That's one thing about Devin Maynard. People don't realize Devin is a freak of nature. This kid, athletically, there's not another one like him in the 15th region. It's just, getting him to come and dial in every single night and bring that Devin.
That's right. But today, at one of the places he'd got a rebound. It's kind of a long rebound. He drove straight right down and just full speed ahead and laid it in. I stopped it and I was bragging on him. And I was like, man, someone gets in front of you and wants to take a charge, you help him up and tell him good job. Because there ain't very many people going to do it. Because he's a tank coming at you.
And I told you young guys, I seen them up. I forgot what summer ball. And I told Copeland and Mark and them, I said, listen, if you do anything I ever tell you to do, become best friends with Braxton Keathley. Because I know what it meant to my son. It taught him the work ethic it took to be an elite player. And, if you hang around him, you're going to be in the gym and you're going to be a special talent. That's just by default,
We started at the first of the year, first day of school. Braxton, he was in by himself at 5:30, working out. And then next day, we had 4 or 5. And they led it, not me, And then by the third day of school, we had, 8, 10 guys in there working out before school. And then we do our stuff after school, too. So, he rubbed off on a lot of kids, Our kids like to play, too. They'll work hard.
Well, Coach, before you got anything else to say before we get zipped?
No, I was just going to you piggyback off you talking defensively, and I keep my ear to the street, Coach, and I hear maybe there's some wrinkles in your defense this year. You may be trying some different things, maybe holding it back for a little bit, maybe not, but I hear there's some adjustments maybe it will go to from time to time, which could be really good because I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Well, right off the bat, you look at our district. I'm going to have to play Paintsville, I know, at least 3 times because we play in all A.
Yeah.
Johnson Central at least twice, so, could play them 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So, they're just, those teams are very good, and you just can't play them the same way every game, and they won't play me the same way every game either. So we have to, work on a few things and to see what works, and then hopefully, time district championship, or if we see them again in a regional tournament, see what gives us the best chance to win.
Right.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, Rupp Arena's going to go through the 57th district, and in the 57th, Coach, you can have no off nights, right?
No, and definitely not. Going to McGoffin is tough. Another regional. Every team in our district's won the region
this year.
Since 2020, every team in our district's won the region.
Yeah,
so
think of that. That's insane.
It's probably the only district in the state, I'd say. I don't know that, but I would say
that's
district.
Crazy. All 4 of them are active region champs.
Yeah.
So I never thought of that.
Well, I think Central might have got it. I might have got it in 18. Maybe it's since 18. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And you and Tommy's won multiple. So that's going into this zip zone. Obviously Zip Zone Classic. We talked about it with Robin. It's the biggest event in the state of Kentucky. And when you take and Look, every year, besides the years I didn't live here, I've never missed a Zip Zone Classic. It starts basketball season.
Yeah.
Basketball. A lot of people, it's a preseason game, but you can't tell any player that plays in it, or you can't tell the community that's preseason.
Well, it's like it's a preseason game that feels like a district tournament game.
Yeah.
It's just the crowds are huge, the environment's great. Teams come from all over to play in it. You're talking some big-time players here every year.
Yeah.
Go back to the first one. I think Allen Houston was in the first ever Zip Zone
I didn't
Classic.
know that.
Wow.
So 87 was the first one?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Right somewhere through there. I was right around there, and I know Allen Houston was part of it that year. So, you go back to them, to the teams that Coach Runyon had at Paintsville with Van Hoos and Ratliff and Tackett, and then Reed Shepard a couple years ago. Travis Perry's played in it 2 or 3 years, so I don't want to leave anybody out, but those just names after names. O.J. Mayo played in it. Miles Bridges played in it.
Sheldon Mack, Kelly Gillen, you've had the best of the best.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this event so special is, I don't know who's involved. I don't know if you're the one that does the matchmaking, but it's every year you bring, the schools, West Virginia's top schools, we're going to talk about the matchups later in the show, but, this year here, Noah Lewis, people don't realize, may be the top player in West Virginia, coming in, you got to see him last year, at the Zip Zone, and the thing that I like, and you got three players that are 3 of the favorites to win Mr. Basketball.
Well, Reese Davidson, Courier Journal had 47 of the coaches' votes, first place votes. So that tells you he's it ain't even close right now. So he's the big time front runner right now. And then Jacob Spurlock, right?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Spurlock.
Yeah.
He's Eastern Kentucky guy.
Right.
But the Spurlock, the Davidson, and then the kid from Lyon County.
Yeah.
Nolan Kaufman, I think he's a junior.
Nolan Kaufman is in Braxton's class, who's got 4 Division I offers, big time player, plays for Indiana Elite. He's a good player.
Yeah, but looking, from the get go, and I won't have you dissect the matchups with us, but when you sit and look, I've never. It's been a long time since I've seen an opening game as strong as this year. You got Paintsville and Huntington High.
Yeah.
Talk about the matchups and what goes behind making them matchups.
Well, we originally had, I think, Paintsville and Hazard to play, and they ended up drawing in the YMT Classic. So that's why we flipped that around with because we didn't want to play now and play in another week or so together. So play again. So that's how we ended up flipping that around. And Huntington High, traditional powerhouse in West Virginia, Paintsville a powerhouse in the 15th region as always. So we thought that would be a good matchup. Paintsville, it starts, with Ethan Cole, who's a terrific player. Woods has lost some weight. He looks great. He's in shape. He's moving a lot better. Then Anderson Lawfer, is a really, really good point guard. So they have a lot of pieces that they will contend for sure for the 15th region.
Yeah, I think Anderson Lawfer is one of the most underrated players in the 15th.
Really, really good defensively. And, of course, don't forget, you can go a lot of ways, but, last week, Darryl, Graham Schutz, the transfer from Prestonsburg, was in that starting lineup as a freshman. And Graham, he's going to be a name to talk about.
Yeah, and people don't realize Preston Sloan was a big addition coming back too.
That's right.
But
they got the Hilton kid that he hit three or four threes on us in the first half. They kind of kept Paintsville in the district game over there in our district tournament. He's a good player.
The kid that come
from Whitley County, I know him. So they're deep, and they're good.
And then the Hansford kid, I like that kid too. Big kid. But going in, how do you choose what team? Because I know every team in the 15th wants to play in it, and that's just not realistic to get them all. But how do you choose? Who plays in the 15th? Because I know you want them coaches and players to have the opportunity.
Well, we try to find some of the best teams with or best players. That's kind of what we go with. Then we kind of look at football a little bit. Like Pikeville's a really good team. Sometimes they get bit with guys playing football and stuff like that. So
normally play until December.
Yeah, they're playing a little longer. They may or may not have their guys.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes into scheduling a little bit or matchups and so forth. You obviously, like you try to just find the best teams and players. You know, that's kind of what we go with, and just, we can only take so many because you want, like North Laurel, we try to find the best player in the state. We talked about it, a little bit, and we knew Davison for sure is on the short list. Spurlock for sure is on the short list. Kaufman at line. He's a junior, though.
He's a junior. He'll be on that list.
He'll be on the list next year. Yeah. Then you look over in West Virginia. GW come over last year. Played awesome. Noah Lewis put on a show. Yeah. So we're thinking, okay, GW North Laurel. Lewis is about 6'7". Davison's 6'8". That's a pretty good matchup there. So let them battle it out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I've never, like I said, never been this excited. I've done games. I've done college games. I've done games at Rupp. State tournament, covered them games, but I've never covered the Zip Zone, and that was the one thing. First of all, I want to thank you for allowing us to be a small part of it. But we don't want people to sit at home and watch it. We want people in the house with us. That's the goal. We want it to be one big party there. Everybody getting to watch great basketball. And I've heard there's probably going to be a full row of college recruiters in the house that
I'm
day.
sure. I mean, there's a long list of players signed and unsigned that are going to be there. That draws a lot of attention. Starting, obviously with our game with Braxton, and then Johnson Central's got 2 talented juniors. A heck of a team. Chapmanville. We even talked about them. They're loaded too. With I know Terry, I think, might be out with a hand injury, but. They've, and I think Brad over there does as good a job as anybody in West Virginia. So, Brad Napier, he does a phenomenal job, I think. So, and then you go through all the players. There'll be a lot of colleges there, and they'll be watching. They'll be there in person. We've had, UK coaches have been there. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's
James Mills. He's the one that really deserves all the credit. He all he tells me is find the best players in the state and see if you can get them here. Best players and best teams. So not too much pressure, but that's what I said.
And Zip Zone does whatever whatever you need them to do to help get them players and teams here, right?
Oh yeah. They just do what you can to get top players in the state here, top teams in the state here.
Talk a little bit about what this event means to Martin County High School and the basketball programs there at Martin County.
Well, us and Robin, I mean, it's a huge part of our fundraising. We almost run the entire program from it in a way. It benefits kids. We're been blessed enough we're a small school, small county, not the richest county in the world, but we've been able to go to Vegas. We were in Tampa last year. And we'll go to the Arby's Classic in Bristol this year, and just really wherever we want to go, they really help with that. It's a big part of why we're able to do that.
I tell you what, we have a huge football game over in West Virginia that day, and they was like, "You're going to do the football?" No, don't even ask me. I'm going to be at the Zip Zone, and but I am stoked, Coach. I'm stoked for basketball here in Martin County this year. As you know, you got one of the biggest shows in the state of Kentucky here. I'm excited to see what you and this coaching staff does with this team, because you got a great mixture of young talent, veterans, and you got, of course, the star newcomer. And this right here, although you got all that talent, this could be one of your best coaching jobs if you're able to pull the region off.
I hope so. I think, at worst, I know we're a problem. We're a problem to deal with. That's for sure. There's a lot of really good teams in our region this year, and obviously 3 of the 4 in our district are favorites. Pikeville seems to get better every day.
You got the reigning champs.
Lawrence County, who is loaded, and Chandler does a heck of a job, So it's just, there's probably Floyd Central's really talented over there. You got, Al Holland, probably the best coach in the state at Pike Central. So Matthew Taylor or Shelby Valley has everybody back, and they're going to be a problem. And they kind of fly under the radar a little bit somehow or another, but he's got a really good team.
Well, they coach the one last thing is next year I hope you get my alma mater in it, because we got a pretty good player over there too. Would love to see Belfry in that.
Yep.
As you sit here and look though, game one all the way to the full day, you come in. If you want to stay the whole day, it's one price the whole day, right?
Yep, $10 gets you in for every game, so you can come in, watch every game from the first game of the day to throughout the last game of the day.
Yeah, Coach, we're one of the ones that's been warriors that watch from, we're there from the day, from the first game all the way to the end. But I really have to say, it's not pumping this up like. This may be the deepest field of games that I've seen in a long time. Like I said, there's no bad game in this one.
That's what we think too. We think there's great matchups across the board. We even mentioned Ashland, who's won like 10. I think Coach Blunt, they won like 10 region titles in a row or something down there. So we love having them. We're actually in their AIT next season, so they invited us, and we're going to do that, and then we'll see. What happens before Christmas, for the following season.
Yeah.
But they're coming up. We're going to play them a regular season game, which I think will be good for both of us.
Yeah.
So, that was my stipulation. I come to Inez. You come to Inez. Well,
He
said, all right, Coach, you got me. So.
Yeah, that's I'd say over the next 2 years you're going to have a lot of the teams wanting you to come play in their event. So.
That's a good problem to have. That's for sure.
Well, Coach, again, real quick, I know you mentioned your coaching staff. I know Jared. I know you got Kevin Dawes. You got Penix. You got PJ. And of course, Robin talked about Boo, what she does for the girls' team. Josh Horn does that for y'all's team, with the graphics and stuff. He plays a big part in what y'all do too, But talk about your staff real quick, and let people know, what their roles are and how important they are to what
Well, Jared's been with me since he was with me in the bad years, and he's with me in the good years, and he's been with me in both regional titles. All the regional titles we've won, he's been with me. All the districts we've won, he's been with me. So it's been awesome having him. He does a lot of our skill development, does all of our defense for the most part, and just he does a lot for kids that behind the scenes that no one else sees really. So he's just great he just wants Martin County to do well. So he's all in on Martin County, and then PJ Harris is we work together, just a great guy, great with kids. He keeps does our JV, doing a real good job with that. And then Penix does a lot of our stats. He kind of does some of the stats, helps out through the game on the iPad, so we can gives us something to look at as the game's going on. And then Kevin is coached in Martin County forever, it seems like, from Warfield Elementary all the way up, Warfield Elementary to middle school. So he's been involved his whole, in Martin County athletics for a long time.
Well, Coach, definitely appreciate you stopping by, talking with us. We're going to do our job pumping it up the rest of the show. But again, this Saturday, there's no other place to be than the Zip Zone Classic. If you're a basketball fan and you're not in Inez, Kentucky on Saturday, I don't know what you're doing, because this is the biggest event, maybe the best one they've had as far as just great matchups from the get-go. Starts at 10 o'clock with the middle school, Martin County Middle versus Lenore, and then it goes on high school games all day, right?
Yep, that's right. It starts early, and we always try to balance it a little bit. We try to find some really good teams early and really good teams late. We'll usually play late because we're there, obviously, and then that's why Paintsville ended up at the 11:30 game. But we want that, and then Lawrence and Hazard the second game. So we want good teams early, good teams late. And then that gives the teams that travel long distances like Lyon County and GW and North Laurel and so on the time to get here, and we kind of give them that middle of the day time slot.
Well, we are excited, Coach. Are you excited as I am?
Right, listen, I'm ready to go. Let's go ahead and set things up and get going. I mean, it's on, and it really is just a kickoff to basketball season.
Yeah. And like I went up to Tennessee yesterday, and I found out Braxton got another offer from East Carolina last night, and I missed that one because I was traveling all day yesterday. And I asked Braxton that. He said, "Well, it kind of came out of nowhere. Essentially, it came out of nowhere." I said, "Well, you're gonna have a lot. Come out keep doing what you're doing, and you'll have a lot come out of nowhere."
Yeah.
But we're excited, man. I think Zip Zone is, like I said, James Mills, Jim Booth, and he always comes, almost every year, and we appreciate all that he does.
Yeah.
And he's just been great for us for so many years. And then he kind of lets James kind of run it.
Yeah.
And then James, and just anything we ever need and ever ask, he always helps us. And so they deserve all the credit.
Well, we are stoked to be a part of it, Coach. And again, we appreciate everything that y'all do. We are excited for the Zip Zone, excited for Martin County basketball. Basketball's here.
Yeah.
And it starts right here in Inez on Saturday morning. So make sure you guys come out and join it. Coach James and them, y'all play at what time?
We play at 8:50.
8:50 at night. So if you're wanting to see the show, you're going to stick around to the end. And you guys play a very good Wayne team. People, they graduated a lot last year, but people don't realize Wayne is a very solid team this year. Watched them this year, or this summer. Played Johnson Central really tough. They beat Belfry. Coach Maddings, they got another squad. That's going to be a tough matchup for you guys.
They have two dynamic wings, two 6'4", 6'5" twins that have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
The Priest brothers, they shoot, they can score, they have extremely high motor, they're great teammates. Those two are names that are going to be problems over in West Virginia for the next 3 years. They're only sophomores, and they have a lot of talent there, and they got some shooters around them. Wayne's good; they're very good. So it should be. We're excited to have them.
Well, Coach, we're going to take we'll get the show on so we can get in here and talk about the matchups. But we'll see you bright and early Saturday morning, and hopefully you can get us that dub Saturday night.
Sounds good. Thanks,
right.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. Coach. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Zip Zone Preview Special live from KFC in Inez, Kentucky. Southside Buildings and Carports and Southside Shed Hunters of Louisa, Kentucky offers shed hauling services up to 16 by 52 long buildings. We also have lofted cabins, utility cabins, garages, man caves, she sheds that you can customize and order to your wants and needs with many different options such as workbenches, shelving, transom windows, and much more. You can go to the location or buy using 3D Builder's online order system. You can build right from your own home. We offer metal garages and carports that are built to any size and installed right on your property. For more info, call 304-928-0060 or 304-928-0062. Here at Southside Buildings and Carports, we've got you covered. If you want to make your dream home come true, call Solid Rock Development today. Check out some of these interior and exterior jobs they've done over the past few years. Solid Rock Development is making custom dream homes come true at a great price. Family owned, family operated, and faith backed. Give us a call today at Solid Rock Development. If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Hi everybody, Dave Baker here for Citizens Bank of Kentucky. Do you want to love your car even more? How about putting extra cash in your pocket each month by refinancing with new low rates at CBK? It is fast, it's easy. All you have to do is log on to wearecitizens.bank.
And we're back here live at KFC. This segment sponsored by United Motorsports, as they got 3 locations for your convenience: Belfry, Danville, and Logan. You won't get any better deal on your side-by-side or four-wheeler than at United Motorsports. Make sure you hit them up, guys. Kevin Keathley to my right. I'm Darryl McCoy, and this is Coach J, man. I'm going to try to say this. Is it Weffenstedt?
There you go.
There you go.
That's a good Eastern Kentucky name, right?
Yeah.
I've never heard it. So I know I've asked you this before. Are you an Eastern Kentucky native?
No, I was born in Oklahoma, and we moved here when I was 7. So
Okay.
been here long.
Yeah.
Been here a long time though.
Explains it.
Been here since '82. So
Okay.
the mountains
Yeah.
are home.
Right.
I'm not from here, but I live here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm here now, and it's my home, and glad to be a part of this over here.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, Inez is just a great community.
Yeah, well, I feel left out here because we got 2 pro basketball coaches on with us here. As Coach Weffenstedt, part of the OPB Swish. There goes Jared and Josh. Listen, this, you've been with Robin Newsom. You're kind of her right-hand man, First of all, talk about this event. You've been there all the years this event's went on. Talk about what this event means to the school and to these girls.
It's awesome. Like I said, you're talking about Coach Newsom. I mean, she's not a one-time Hall of Famer. She's like a 7-time Hall of Famer, and it's a privilege to me to be able to sit beside her.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out earlier and talking about OPB. I called Carla Booth and said, Carla, when did I start coaching? I mean, and it's been 15, 16 years that I've been here in Martin County with Sheldon Clark, Martin County, with Darren Rice, Tim Rice, and now, with Robin in there. So I've had 3 pretty good coaches, I mean, to learn from and to get tutelage from and be under. And it's just great. And like I said, the community here is great. They get behind us here big time. And Zip Zone, for one, we want to thank them. And like I said, thank you guys for supporting us. And without Zip Zone and you guys, we couldn't do this program that we've got over here. But the Zip Zone's just something big. We come out all the time. The girls have worked hard in practice. We were talking about earlier, we were talking about the starters on the team, 2 seniors starting and stuff. We've got an additional senior. We've got another junior in there. Without the girls, the non-starters, making it harder on them in practice, we wouldn't be where we're at. I mean, because you can go out, and if you don't have somebody giving full effort on the other side, every play works, every defense works, and then you get in the game and you're kind of blindsided. And that's what we don't want to do. We've got Angelina Moore, it's a senior this year, going in there. She's joined the National Guard. We want to thank her for her service. That's a great deal for her to do in there. We got Bella in there as a junior. We're very, very young. We're very young with our bench. We're not real deep. We've got Desiree Gullett in there. So we've got 6 or 7, that are going to play a lot. And then we've probably got 3 or 4 that are going to feel some minutes in when we get foul trouble, get tired in there and stuff. So that's what we've been working on a lot. They hate it when I come to practice because I make them run a little bit, get the conditioning in, because I like to get up and down. You've seen me with OPB. I like to get up and down the floor, like to get some shots up and stuff. And you can't do that if you're not in shape. And that's one thing. They kind of go, oh, man, J-Man's here today. We're going to run. But, that's why I tell them all the time. I'm not punishing you. I'm just trying to get you in shape to get there to where we can play some basketball.
Well, the girls, do they enjoy that that you help coach that women's pro team?
Oh yeah, they love it, and like I said, I've had Michaela Epps talk to them. I've had Carla talk to them. As Robin stated earlier, we have Miss Kentucky basketball. With Ida Bowen, Ida's talked to the girls in there. Like we talked about, I'd just like to go back and see how many kids that not only I've been a part of going to college, that Coach Newsom's been a part of going to college and playing at different levels and making it to the semi-pro level and there. And it's just, we try to give the girls the best program that they could possibly have, and make it fun for them. Go places, we go to Tennessee, we go to Florida all the time. We play all the teams, every team in the state that wants to play, we'll go play somebody. And that's how you get better.
I know we're going to talk about the Zip Zone here in a second, but this, you being the coach of the OPB Swish, do you look at the talent in the region and, are you like, well, maybe it's one day a player that
yeah, definitely. I'm definitely, I'm always looking. I'm watching it, former players that we've had, not only former players we've had, but former players in the region that went on to colleges at Alice Lloyd, KCU, Marshalls, the UKs, just anywhere around here. I kind of look for that. And like I said, being a part of them, watching them grow, it makes it a little bit easier too. You know, and it makes that in with talking to them. You know, when you do try to introduce yourself to them, they know who you are because you've been around the sport for a while and stuff. There. So not only that, it's been great, and it's just been a fun thing to be a part of.
Yeah, now moving up Martin County, we know Robin, a walking Hall of Famer. When you getting a coach to her next to her every single day, what's it like coaching next to Robin?
All right. Well, one, it's awesome, and two, I wouldn't be where I was at without her. Get me in the school system and stuff to help out. So I owe her a lot. And then, like we talked about, she is probably one of the most competitive people that I know. I'm competitive as well. Yeah. If you sit back and watch one of our games, you probably think we hate each other because we're yelling at each other's faces, we're grabbing each other and shaking each other and going on. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to do what's best for the team and make us better in there. We've had people at halftime go up, man, say, I thought you guys were going to fight at halftime in there. And then after the game, we're hugging each other because we won and stuff. Right. And that's, it's what we want to do. We want to go in there, and if I can bounce something off of her, she can bounce something off me. And that's why I got the most respect for her that I could possibly have for anybody, because she kind of, unlike my wife, she listens to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she listens to me. Sometimes she listens to me. Yeah, I throw it out. If she uses it, she uses it. If she don't, I don't get upset about it. And that's what I think a lot of time assistant coaches get upset when they don't listen to the head coach in there. I mean, she's the one that gets her name in the paper for the wins and losses. I'm kind of doing the dirty work behind the scenes with her and helping her out and stuff. And it's just, it's awesome sitting there because, like I said, I mean, I've watched her, and it's helped me grow as a coach, and as a person as well.
Real quick, Coach Keathley does have a daughter. It's pretty good.
I know. That's why I was going to hit him up for here in just a minute. As soon as we got off air, I was going to tell him give her my number, have her give me a call here, afterwards for on point, if she's available and stuff in there. But it's just like I said, high school basketball in Eastern Kentucky. Martin County has been for years one of the winningest. They used to be the winningest program. The Cardinals used to be, Lady Cards used to be the winningest program in the 15th region. And she has a lot to do with that. She started it out. She's on the first team here, and just her going to college and coming back and giving back to it. She's done great at that, and like I said, she's one of the reasons probably we're at where we're at in there.
Listen, Coach Newsom's kind of the she's not just a cornerstone; she's the foundation of Martin County basketball. You can really go back to big time programs, whether it's high school, college, even professionally, and you say that's the reason why they are who they are. And I know Coach Newsom probably don't want to take that kind of credit, but when you talk about somebody that spent 40-plus years with a program, you're talking about Adolph Rupp type stuff. You're talking about, listen, that's the barometer. She has set the bar in the 15th region as a basketball coach and for Martin County basketball.
That's right. I hope, like she said, she's been in it roughly 45 years or whatever and stuff in there. I've been at it 15, so she's still got a lot on me. I've still got a lot to learn, and that's one thing I like to pride myself on is if you can tell me a play and I go out and it works, I'm going to use it.
Right.
I'm not one of them guys that thinks I know everything and stuff because I don't know everything. And if you're not learning something every day, then you're getting left behind. Right. Because the game's constantly changing from whether it's the inside game, an outside game, guard orientated, big orientated, whatever you're doing. It changes all the time, and you've got to be able to change that on the fly. And I think that's one of the things that me and her have meshed well together because I can see something she's not necessarily looking for, and I'll be like, hey, let's try this. And she'll go in there and try it, and, if it works, it works. If it don't, then she kind of yells at me and tells me never do that again. But, I learned my lesson, and we go on, and that's what we try to do. We try to make it, like I said, fun for the kids to come out. The Zip Zone is a great time for all of them. They look forward to it every year because, one, they know it's the start of the season. Two, they know they get to play somebody else instead of beating and banging on each other. And it's always fun, we're a family, so you're going to fight and argue with each other in there. But now you finally get to take some of those frustrations out on somebody else. Yeah. And that's always, what the girls, practices are practices, and sometimes they get, they get bored with practice and they want to play games. And I don't blame them. I was the same way when I played. I'm sure you guys the same way. Practice all the time and never get a reward for it. You kind of get downhearted. But, when you come in here and you have a huge, huge stage as your first kind of game of the year, it makes it funner. When you open the doors to the locker room and the seats are full in there in November, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun year.
Got two questions, Coach, and then I'll let you get out here. What's the ceiling for this year's Martin County team? Can they win region?
Well, I don't know that there is a ceiling for this team, to be honest with you. We're so young and we've got so much growth that we're going to have. Our seniors are still growing. We've seen some tremendous leaps from them. Sophie Hartless was hurt last year, didn't get to help us as much as she normally does. And like we were talking about with Candace, we lost a huge role player in Candace. You put her in the game and she changed it quick, whether it was getting a deflection or stuff in there. So they're going to have to step up and get those things. And I think those two seniors can do it. I think our third senior with Angelina, she gets in the game. I think she can give us, she beats and bangs on them, so she can get in there and give us some minutes. And that's what it takes. And our younger ones, and you guys have been around coaching long enough to know, you can see them stepping, you can see them whether it was with dribbling or shooting or passing or it just sometimes a light comes on and it clicks and it's like, oh, that's what I do. And then it just turns the whole thing around. So, to say, can we win the region? I think we honestly have a shot at winning. Will we win the region? I don't know. It'll be, it's yet to be seen. It's why we play the games. Like I said, early on they had us ranked, second or whatever in the region. So that's a great honor, preseason. But those rankings don't mean anything. And we're not playing for November, December. We're playing for February. We want to get in there in February, come in district, win district. That's the goal every year is to win district and compete for a region. That's our goal every year. Win district, compete for a region in there, and that's kind of where we set things at. If we don't win the region, it's kind of our district. It's a kind of a letdown. Then we kind of go in and we go, hey, if we can get on the region, then do it there. But goal every year, win district, compete for a region title. And go on. Last year we were blessed enough to win the All-A region. Come out there, had a great run in the All-A and got that win in there. So they know what it's like to win. Yeah. So now winning's contagious. Yeah. You win, right. It keeps on rolling. It keeps on rolling. That's kind of where we hope we set things. We ended up last year, doing great last year. Hopefully we can roll it over into this year and start this year off and keep it going.
My last question for anybody that, if you're telling a stranger why they need to be at Martin County on Saturday, what can you expect and what is the Zip Zone Classic?
Well, Zip Zone Classic is the best preseason tournament that there is out there. I don't know that there's, I would say nationwide, but I'm sure somewhere out west, maybe they might have a few more teams that can come in there and stuff. But, east of the Mississippi, it's probably the biggest and the best tournament, the preseason tournament that there is. We were talking earlier, you've had O.J. Mayo, Patrick Patterson play in there. Malachi Moreno played in it last year. It's playing at UK right now. So, had Travis Perry there last year. Trent Noel was there last year. Dante, we were talking earlier, and Coach named one from back in the day. And did you say Allen Houston played there, Coach? Allen Houston, maybe. Yeah. Some of you young guys might not know him, but you might want to look him up. He's a heck of a ball player in his day in there. But it is a great tournament, not only for the boys, but for the girls as well. Because, like I said, the girls typically, you don't have that many fans in the stand when you have a game for girls basketball. It is changing, like you said earlier. Right now, women's basketball in general has took off, and it's about time for it to do that. It's been way overdue for them to get their dues, basically, because they come out. And if you've ever, in my opinion, a great girls basketball game is better than a boys basketball game. Most of the time, they hustle a little more. They get after it. They kind of beat and bang each other a little more in through there and go on.
Feisty.
Yeah, and they're feisty, and that's kind of why I've got into the, not only having two daughters of my own that played, but that's kind of one of the reasons I like to get in there. They get in, and go after it, and they get after you. And that zip zone, you'll be able to see. So if Saturday afternoon, for whatever the $10, $5, whatever it is to get in, you can't,
all day.
$10. You can't go anywhere else and spend $10 and see the amount of talent that's going to be in Inez, Kentucky. There's nowhere in the state that you can go do that at any given time, other than maybe the state tournament. It's more than $10 a ticket to get in a state tournament. You come to Inez Saturday, starting with the middle school game, all day long. There's teams coming in, coming out, going in, big time names in there. It's coming in, and it is just a great. If you've never been, you need to come.
Yep.
And like you said, the shirts, get the shirts, because you never know what team on the back of it's probably going to win a state championship, because this is the road to Rupp, like we always say. It starts here, and 90% of the time, 5 to 6 of the teams playing for a state championship were right here in Inez, Kentucky on the first Saturday after Thanksgiving. So it's a big deal for them, and the girls know that, and they look forward to it. And the boys know it as well. I was talking to some of the boys, talking to Braxton the other day. They're looking forward to coming in here and getting to play. Great talent with it, bringing all these other teams in. It kind of gives you a little bit of scouting opportunity to watch some of the other teams in the region in here that come in. So you get to watch them, and it's just it's a great day of basketball. If you're a basketball fanatic, like everybody probably sitting here is. Saturday's the day you look forward to every year.
Well, Coach, we definitely appreciate any time you take the time to sit down with us. We appreciate you're always a huge supporter of us here at D&D. Appreciate everything that you do partnering with us throughout the year, whether it's with your pro team, with the Martin County Cardinals. And Coach Keathley, before we leave, I'm gonna give you a shot. Can you say his last name?
Listen, I don't even want to try. No.
It's real easy once you see it here. It's Weaponsted.
There we go.
It's very easy. I still don't know if I spell it right, though.
Right.
I don't know if I spell it right. They ask me all the time. I'm like, this is
Right.
how I spell it. That might not even be the correct spelling of it in there. But like I said, we appreciate you guys. Without you guys getting behind, and live streaming the games, whatever it may be, and all the sponsors that you guys have got, that's what it takes, to get out there to get these kids seen. And I mean, I've seen coaches get on there and watch the games, on D&D Sports here, to be able to scout. And that's kind of what we do too. If we're not playing or something, we'll get on here and watch you guys and get in there and get a little in. So we couldn't do it without you guys. We appreciate it. Zip Zone, without them, none of this would be possible. And like I said, we owe them a lot just for that. They come in, like Coach said earlier, they bring their workers in, it's a Saturday. Yeah, we're still going to be doing stuff. We're going to be selling T-shirts. So everybody come to see us over there. Lady Cards will be selling T-shirts all day on Saturday. Probably be selling Dippin' Dots maybe in there a little bit. So if you want something to snack on, come see us. But, it's a great day for us. We don't have to worry about the concession stand. We don't have to worry about the rest of the stuff. They take care of that for us. They keep the bathrooms clean. They keep the gym clean, keep everything rolling for us. And then they give it back to the school. Right. And I don't know of any other real business like that donates 100% of the profit back to the school. And then like we were talking about earlier, some of the other teams that come in here, some they'll pay them to come down here to play to get them in here because it's an expense for a school to come in here. We got bus bills, might have to come in and spend the night, come in here and play. So they help out with that, take care of the referees, take care of all the parking out. I mean, everything is done by them. We get to come in and kind of just coach and have a part of a great day of basketball. So Zip Zone, thank you very much. Thank you guys for doing that. Like we were talking about, like Coach talked about earlier, she wanted to thank you guys. I want to reiterate that. I want to thank Zip Zone personally, and then want to thank you guys for being a part of it as well.
Absolutely. We hope this is the best and biggest forever. Again, Jim Booth, James Mills, Sandy, I want to thank them for everything they do to help make this event pop off. And when we're going to talk about some of the people that made it happen and more when we come back, coaches, we're going to have our own Billy Davis with us. So guys, come right back. You're watching the Zip Zone preview special. Again, thanks J-Man for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
If you're looking for a friendly and fun atmosphere to enjoy your daily cuisine, come to Cheech's Pizza in Lenore, West Virginia. Cheech's Pizza has world-renowned cheese sticks, delicious pizza, and the best subs in the pizza and pasta game. Don't forget to take advantage of our milkshake shop located inside. Bring your family down to meet ours. We are the place that treats you like family from the second you pull in the parking lot. We look forward to seeing you here at Cheech's Pizza.
5 times is a charm. Congratulations to the awesome team at Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical for earning its 5th National Best of the Best Award for Customer Satisfaction, the only HVAC company in West Virginia to earn our award for 5 straight years. If you need heating, cooling, electrical work, a fantastic generator, residential or commercial, done right at a fair price by honest experts, remember the name, Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Visit PreciseHeatingCooling.com for an appointment. Precision, the best of the best, again.
Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Come on down to Ultimate Pond, located in Kermit, West Virginia, where we have all your firearm needs. Need cash? Trade in your gold today. From custom rifles and rifles accessories to the bare bone stock of pistols, we have it all. Come see us today at Ultimate Pond.
Southside Buildings and Carports and Southside Shed Hunters of Louisa, Kentucky offers shed hauling services up to 16 by 52 long buildings. We also have lofted cabins, utility cabins, garages, man caves, she sheds that you can customize and order to your wants and needs with many different options such as workbenches, shelving, transom windows, and much more.
You can go to the location or buy using 3D Builder's online order system. You can build right from your own home. We offer metal garages and carports that are built to any size and installed right on your property. For more info, call 304-928-0060 or 304-928-0062. Here at Southside Buildings and Carports, we've got you covered.
When it comes to burying a loved one, you need to make sure that they're left in the right hands. That's why you need to call Crum Funeral Home, located in Inez, Kentucky. You can give them a call today at 606-298-0602, located on 498 Kentucky Route 3 North in Inez, Kentucky. Give them a call today, Crum Funeral Home.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Back here in Inez, Kentucky at KFC, as they always say, yum, yum, Coach.
Yum, yum.
The KFC, one of the cleanest and nicest KFCs you'll find in Eastern Kentucky.
And Taco Bell.
Yeah, Taco Bell, yeah, here too. So and amazing what they do here. Again, it's one of Zip Zone's many stores and locations they have here. Appreciate everything they're doing, allowing us here to film this Zip Zone special here. And Billy Davis, listen, guys, D&D don't do the Zip Zone, and this don't happen without this man right here. You know, he's the MVP as we're sitting here at D&D. Billy, you've been at this for 3 months now, trying to get this thing off to where D&D's able to do this. Just talk about how this was able to come about, and who are some of the people that helped make this event possible.
It took a lot of people to make this come together. I mean, this is a huge event.
Yep.
This is the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Before the season. I mean, you got every top team that's going to be in Martin County on Saturday. A lot of teams will be staying in Martin County on Saturday. A lot of them be visiting these Zip Zone gas stations and restaurants Saturday. You know what I mean? But, we sat down with James Mills. We talked to Jim Booth. This is this process. We've been wanting to do this forever. Ever since my son come to Martin County, I said, listen, the only thing that I could see that we need to do is we need to be on D&D. There's a lot of people at home that's moved away from here. I've had people message me from Tennessee while we've been here that can't get here or just they're not able to get out. You know what I'm saying? That's the people that we want to watch it on D&D. It's not the people who live around here. It's not the people who can drive it in an hour. Those people need to get in the stands and watch this. This is something you want to see in person. A lot of these players is going to go D1, D2, all the way to NAI. A lot, and I mean, I can't emphasize that, a lot of talent is going to be on the floor Saturday, and it's for $10. $10. The number one or number two value meal at Mick something another. Don't want to get us in trouble. Is $10. So you get this for $10. You know what I'm saying? I mean, call anywhere you want to and say, can I watch 9 games for $10? They'll say, No, it's $7 a game.
Yeah.
No, $10 you get to do this. Listen, James Mills, Jim Booth has been absolutely awesome to us. I mean, the whole Zip Zone bunch has worked with us. Sandy, who's worked hand in hand with us. The people here at KFC's been awesome. They come around 15 times tonight wanting to know if we needed anything, and every time I said yes. I mean, but the community has really got involved, and that's what I like. And I'm going to tell you something else. When I tell you these sponsors, listen, it's not Walmart, okay? Walmart does not sponsor your kid.
No.
If they are, you do not live in West Virginia or Kentucky.
No.
It's Butcher's Record Service, AAA Yard Sale, Kenny McCoy's Auto Sales, Smoking Hot Novelties, C&A Service Center in East Kermit, Warfield Market, our buddy Brad over there. I would just donate some money to him today for Thanksgiving. Three Rivers Medical Center. I mean,
the number one ER in Lawrence County, and one of the top in all of Eastern Kentucky. Three Rivers Medical Center in Louisa, Kentucky.
Yeah, Three Rivers Mart in Louisa. That's what I'm saying. These ain't just Martin County businesses. Yeah. These are businesses from all over the place that goes, hey, our team's going to Martin County and playing. You know what I mean? United Motorsports, Logan, Danville, and Belfry. We could not do this without United Motorsports. Darryl, we have run that United Motorsports side by side all over the place this summer, covering stuff, and it never gave us the first problem.
No, what you were saying about United Motorsports, when you buy a vehicle there, they don't just stop there. They'll service that throughout the remainder of you having that side by side or four wheeler. But the thing about United Motorsports, people don't realize they are a vital part of what D&D does. We just broke records last week with the Chapmanville playoff game. One of the main reasons we was able to bring that game to you was our friends Smokey Armstrong and Tyler Hodge, Justin Hall, and our friends at United Motorsports. They are pivotal to what D&D does here in the mountains.
Yeah. I was in Tennessee. You might remember this. I was in Tennessee when we found out that we got the official word that we was going to get to do the Zip Zone. Everything got worked out over the phone over about an hour conversation. One of my first calls was to Smokey Armstrong. I was like, "Hey, we're going to do the Zip Zone." Before I even told him anything else, he said, "We're in.
Yep.
We're in. That's the biggest thing going on. We are definitely in." And a lot of people you talk to said the same thing. You know what I mean? And like I said, you got other people on here from away from here. Giovanni's of Paintsville.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? East Kentucky Cards and Collectible over at Betsy Lane. Logan General Hospital over at Logan.
Yep.
I mean, people from all over the place. Giovanni's of Kermit. Davy Jude. He just bought the Blacklog Giovanni's, and he owns the Giovanni's up South Wimpson. Three Giovanni's. And the D&D crew gives his buffet at Wimpson 10 out of 10, by the way. Yes, courtesy of Zach. He wanted me to say that. But, I mean, Callahan's Funeral Home. I mean, the local people get involved, too. Tommy's, of course. Tommy Maynard goes along with us on so much stuff. Sometimes I don't even know if he knows what he's sponsoring it for. He just wants the youth put out in front of everybody. Precision Heating and Cooling in Wimpson.
Yeah.
Paul Price, great guy, man. When you start talking about sports and getting people out there, he's right behind you 100%. That's who works on our units. Yep. I mean, it's who works on Southside Mall in Wimpson. Listen, people, I got a bone to pick with you over that. Do not complain about us not having stores to shop at if you do not go to the Southside Mall and do your Christmas shopping. Yep. Do not bring it up that we don't have stores around here to do it at, because you do have stores at the Southside Mall and great places to eat too.
Yep. If you can get it at Southside Mall, get it there, guys. Don't go elsewhere, spend your money elsewhere. Keep it here, because Southside Mall is the ones that's helping your kids. They're the ones that's going to buy cleats for your kids. They're going to put signs on the field.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the big box stores. It's going to be Southside Mall. Zip Zone, as you mentioned, they
Zip Zone's awesome.
A slew of locations. They got you talking about great food options.
Yeah.
You talking about Subway, Taco Bell, KFC, Billy, you, I mean, I know. What's
yeah.
the pizza place? Is it
Papa John's right there at Blacklog. That's what I'm saying. You usually come into small town America, like Inez,
McDonald's.
and you say, well, they usually got a Giovanni's, and they usually got, maybe a burger joint or something. You have, just with Zip Zone alone, you have a ton of new businesses right here in Martin County. And you don't have to drive that far down from the high school to go to them. I think they all even got the Grubhub, DoorDash, something or other going on. That woman told me a minute ago, and I'm sorry, I forgot about what she said, or whether it was a DoorDash or Grubhub one. They've got it if you live in Inez. They will deliver it.
Well, Coach Keathley told me the reason that they moved to Martin County was so they could eat at the McDonald's in the Zip Zone there. They said, I want my kid, they said, if Braxton Keathley's going to win Mr. Basketball, it's going to be because he can walk off that hill after practice, because he don't leave the gym. He's going to walk down the McDonald's, get fueled up, and then he's going to go right back up there. Makes it quick and easy for future Mr. Basketball.
Yeah, I go to the McDonald's over all the time. That's all the gas I put in is a Zip Zone gas around here, because I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't trust a lot of gas stations. Fly by night, this and gets bought out, and that and gets bought out. Zip Zone has been the same Zip Zones, and they've always got the best prices on gas. You know what I mean? Everybody else is wondering what their gas prices are every morning, and I know everything's fresh inside the store. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to pick up something that's going to say 2022 on it after I've drunk half a thing of chocolate milk and it's about flat. But like I said, we've got awesome sponsors. United Motorsports, thank you so much for coming on board. Zip Zone, this is going to be one of the biggest Zip Zones you people have ever seen. There's great games from the very first game, which starts at 10:15, the middle school game, runs all the way till the big dogs kick off at 8:50 at night. I can't wait to watch Martin County take the floor. I got just a little glimpse of watching them over at Johnson Central this weekend. Keathley put up 49. Could have probably had 60, or more. I like the way they all moved the ball. It's a build-up. It's like Christmas is coming really, really early. It's like everywhere you go, it don't matter where you're in, Logan County, Lawrence County. It reminds me, my buddy Twin River Wholesale, Ozzie Lucas down there. I was just down there talking to him, man. That's all everybody in his warehouse was talking about. Can I get tickets early? Hey, should I show up early? Hey, we plenty of parking at Martin County High. You know what I'm saying? Stay off the grass, sheriff will get mad. But anyways, plenty of parking. It's going to be a great day. Zip Zone brings their Subway people there, their Papa John's people there. Their store managers come and work, so whoever's ringing you up is, you know what I mean? They're going to take care of you in the right way. Everything runs usually really smooth at the Zip Zone. I love it every year. I've actually got a shirt in my closet from every single year since Peyton was probably in the 6th grade.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I want to get to the Zip Zone. You talk about the Zip Zone Classic, and you better get there early, because this place. Listen, if you are a basketball fan, don't go anywhere else besides here on Saturday, because this is going to be, like Billy said, Christmas early. But when you sit there and look, all day long, great games. But you talked about, you being here since, since Peyton was in 6th grade.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing that nobody talked about this, because whenever, when I brought my son over to Martin County, you was one of the biggest contributors that said, listen, the Zip Zone Classic, wait till you get there. They don't know your wife won't have to work concession, because they bring all the folks from Zip Zone, all the workers, the managers are there. Your wife, Tabby, is a manager of the Zip Zone in Warfield. She's there working the Zip Zone in concession. Whether it's, selling food, cleaning toilets, they're doing whatever they have to do to make sure that this is the best event possible. And you are the number one. How many opportunities did your son get to go to Vegas, Miami, places like that? Because of this Zip Zone?
Yeah, my son's been to Las Vegas. He's been to Florida 2 or 3 times. He's been to North Carolina. He's been everywhere. Even when I was talking to Kevin Keathley, when he was talking about them moving over here and everything, I told him, I said, the Zip Zone is it's just like going to the Super Bowl, man. You know what I mean? Or walking in the NCAA tournament of high school basketball. I mean, my son's played basketball like your guys has since he was 4 years old. I've been to, could not tell you how many different states, how many different events he's played in, AAU. I mean, he's played in all of them. Yeah. But this right here, see, my son didn't transfer till he was a 7th grader, but I've been going to it since 6th grade. And when I come to it, he was being really good friends with Brady Dingus. Always, they've always been tight. And when he's come here and he's seen Brady playing this, you know what I mean? And he just, I want to be a part of this. The atmosphere is just so electric in there. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the Zip Zone at Martin County. I mean, it's an awesome stadium. It's beautiful. It's clean. They got their own cleaning crew and everything. It cleans everything. It's awesome. And like I said, anything you want to eat there is there. They got the big jumbo screen out in the hallway, so you're not going to miss anything while you're out to getting something to eat. You know what I mean? And they bring in the biggest players. I mean, man, come on. I mean, the two dudes, one of them's playing for Utah right now. I got his autograph at the house. Guess where I got it at? The Zip Zone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The dude from Lyon County, got a picture with him. I got it at the Zip Zone. You know what I'm saying? I think I used $5 off Kevin Keathley to get that Lyon County, but don't bring it up. He might charge interest. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, the Zip Zone, man, that's where you bring your family, you make memories, and you watch these star athletes that later on in the season, you see them on ESPN and all the big reels and the Twitter and all that stuff, and you're like, I seen them earlier this year. I got to watch them earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? It's the personal experience that really gets me.
You're going to see 7 or 8 kids on Saturday. 7 or 8 kids that's going to have a legit shot to win Mr. Basketball in their respective state.
Yeah.
At Zip Zone. I mean, think of that. Nowhere else can you see that kind of talent. Nowhere else. And they're playing right here in the hills of Eastern Kentucky. You know, that's the greatest thing. You know, Coach Keathley, I told Coach Keathley for years, I was like, you've got to get down here and watch this. The last couple of years he's come over, you know, during the intermission, you know, halfway through we'd go down and eat at the hibachi. It used to be in
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
Then we go right back up and watch the end games. You know, this event, guys, I promise you, if you've never been here, please come out and join us. We don't want you guys sitting at home and watching it. We want you guys in the house with us. You know, Billy, you talked about, you know, Zip Zone. How many other businesses would do all this and, you know, put out what they put out to bring these kind of teams in here and ask for nothing in return?
Yeah.
The only thing they ask for is that the kids of Martin County have the best experience that they'll ever have in high school. That's all they ask.
That's what I'm saying. When we set this up, we didn't set this up to say, oh, okay, you're going to pay us a fee to come in here and broadcast this. We didn't charge them a dime to do it. Listen, this is all about the kids. This is all about the sports programs at Martin County High. And that's another thing. It don't just go to girls basketball and it don't just go to boys basketball. It goes to the football team, the soccer team, the volleyball team, the softball team, the state champion probably this year wrestling team. It all goes to that. So if you're a part of any of those teams, you need to get out and support this also. I never understood that, why the other parts didn't share that.
We expect to see the bass fishing team out, the band out.
Yeah, the band out. Well, you probably see the band there. They'll probably be playing, but it supports everybody at that school, every sport that they got at that school. And like I said, I'm really passionate about it. I think Zip Zone, James Mills, every time I see him, I'm thinking, I mean, it might not even be during the year when the Zip Zone's going on, because I know what it takes. I see both sides of it. My wife is a manager. I see both sides of what it takes to put on. And you never hear the first manager walk out of that gym and go, I had to work on an off day. I had, you know what I mean? Or am I getting extra pay? No, they don't get an extra dime for it. They all want to be there for the school. And you know, it's like I was saying something a minute ago when I was talking about how sponsors come from all over the place and stuff. You got Sims Furniture at Prestonsburg. You know, you got our buddies Craig Dameron all the way over at Pikeville over there. You know what I mean? These people could easily said, this tournament ain't in our backyard. Why would we want to be on it? It's simple. You're supporting the kids, and it's on the biggest network stage it could possibly be on. I mean, it's that simple. And when you don't even got to explain it to them. When you say Zip Zone, I don't care where you're at Pikeville, where you're at Louisa, Chapmanville. When you say Zip Zone, they're like, oh, yeah, when's that?
That's why we wanted to be a part of this, guys. It's not, listen, the local people, we love our fans, and we want you guys there beside us. But we want to bring the Zip Zone to our nationwide audience.
That's
to
it.
All the people across the state. We want people, people from Western Kentucky all the time, they'll say, yeah, I've heard about that preseason event y'all got there. And we're like, yeah, the Zip Zone Classic. We want people to see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And when everybody talks about the Zip Zone, we just want people to get a small glimpse of what the Zip Zone Classic is and why it's so special. That's all we hope to do.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got people from all over the country that watch D&D, and when I say that, some people smirk and stuff. But listen, here's what you got to think of the stuff that we cover. When you think of all the way across the country, we covered KCU. Just the other day, we covered a lot of KCU stuff. They got players in Florida. They got players from Georgia. They got players from California. Yep. Their parents watch this. That's what we mean by cross country. When we went up there and dug the big world level coon hunt thing up there, they was tuning in from 44 states.
600 people at 2 a.m. in the morning was
watching that.
Yeah, Billy, look, don't forget. Right now we got 23 different countries that follow D&D, and that's because of prep schools like Huntington Prep, Wesley Christian, and multiple people in these countries. There's no other platform in the state of Kentucky like D&D.
And we got people that's got the experience to talk to these people, like when college coaches and stuff call, how's this player doing? How's this player doing? Well, we got a former pro coach over here. You know what I'm saying? We've got people who knows how to talk to how to get these people offers. I know I had a lot of people talking for my son. I didn't know how to talk to these people. I really didn't. When they start talking, they don't just look at your son and go, how many points did he put up this game? No, they want to know about their grades. They want to know about their parents. They want to know what they're into on their off time. Coach Keathley and him gave me so much advice that's who we've got at D&D, though. We've got those people to make those connections for athletes.
Well, Billy, last thing, we know the fans are wanting to get the matchup, so, I got two things here, and then, you've been here all day during this special, just like Zip Zone does. You've been right here making sure, everything went off well. When, the first thing, I want to thank you because this don't happen without Billy Davis. What you've done, it's on D&D to Zip Zone, because of Billy and the hard work that he's put in. You and Zach have done a tremendous job. This was y'all's baby. You made it happen. Appreciate everything that you do. And the second thing is, give me one matchup that you're most excited for.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That's what I was just telling Kevin Keathley and JJ about before JJ stepped out of here. I really don't know, man. There's so many teams I want to watch. I want to watch Lawrence County real bad. The Lyon County, I really like Lyon County. I got to know that coach a little bit with his son. Man, Hazard's going to be a good game to watch. Of course, I got to watch my boys from Martin County against Wayne. I mean, I bleed Martin County. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That's your favorite matchup?
That's always my favorite game. I mean, there's some tough games in there.
Sean Medding, Jason James.
Yeah, Sean's boy used to play with Peyton with AAU at Ashland, so you know what I mean? I just can't wait for Martin County to thump him. But he's my buddy. I guarantee he's watching this too. But, I mean, Huntington High will be there. There's just so many games. I'm just going to walk in the morning, make sure you guys are good. I'm just going to sit back and take it all in, man.
It must be nice. Me and Coach Keathley, we're in for the long haul.
I'll bring you something to drink when you need it.
I know you will. Billy always stops at one of the local Zip Zones. He went before the show started and brought us some refreshments. Appreciate that. And we can't do what we do without you. But we got one of our sponsors, Dr. Alan Baldwin, says he can't wait for the Paintsville Tigers to get to play in it again this year. Dr. Alan Baldwin, Maynard Chiropractic, huge part of D&D.
Yes, he is.
The Johnson County kids don't get the coverage they get if not for Alan Baldwin.
Great guy, and I'm with him. Paintsville's going to be a good game too.
Our kids to Alan Baldwin, and we trust our kids with Alan Baldwin and Maynard Chiropractic.
That right there ought to show you something.
Yep.
Who you take your vehicle to, where you buy it from, where you take your kid, especially when something's wrong with your kid.
Yep.
I mean, that ought to show you something. Who we take them to, who we trust.
Yep.
You know.
And just like speaking of trusting, we all trust Tommy's Auto Sales. Every one of us has got a vehicle out in the parking lot with Tommy's Auto Sales on it.
Yeah, I think Peyton's going to buy one tomorrow.
Yeah, Coach Keathley may have the most famous one of them. But guys, we're going to let Billy get out of here. When we come back, me and Coach Keathley's finally going to get into what you guys have been waiting for. We're going to give you a lowdown on all the matchups you're going to see on Saturday. Come right back and join us here live at KFC in Inez, Kentucky.
Unfortunately, water, mold, or fire damage can happen to you. Restoration One of Southern West Virginia is available 24/7 to help take the stress out of your mess. Our primary goal is to respond and restore your property back to normal as quickly and safely as possible. When disaster strikes, Restoration One is your go-to cleanup crew. Save our number now in case you need us later. Whether the job is big or small, give Restoration One a call. 304-443-4959.
Getting ready for sports means protecting those eyes. Up to 90% of sport-related eye injuries can be prevented with proper eye protection. White Eye Care knows this and is committed to providing the best protective sportswear for your child's eyes. As a proud sponsor of our community sports programs, we want to see our kids protected, from the little ones up to the big leagues. Our huge selection of eyewear makes finding that perfect pair easy. So win big this season. Call White Eye Care in Logan for an appointment today.
If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Marr is here for you. Jim Marr is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today.
5 times is a charm. Congratulations to the awesome team at Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical for earning its 5th National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction, the only HVAC company in West Virginia to earn our award for 5 straight years. If you need heating, cooling, electrical work, a fantastic generator, residential or commercial, done right at a fair price by honest experts, remember the name, Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Visit PreciseHeatingCooling.com for an appointment. Precision, the best of the best, again.
If you're looking for a friendly and fun atmosphere to enjoy your daily cuisine, come to Cheech's Pizza in Lenore, West Virginia. Cheech's Pizza has world-renowned cheese sticks, delicious pizza, and the best subs in the pizza and pasta game. Don't forget to take advantage of our milkshake shop located inside. Bring your family down to meet ours. We are the place that treats you like family from the second you pull in the parking lot. We look forward to seeing you here at Cheech's Pizza.
And we are back here in Inez, Kentucky at the #1 KFC in Martin County.
Yeah.
That's KFC Taco Bell combo here in Inez, Coach, and they have been an amazing host for tonight's Zip Zone special.
Darryl, listen, I said at the beginning of the show, he's torturing me. It's like a Chinese water torture here. I'm doing my best not to get just a big tub of gravy and biscuits during break. I mean, it's insane. But, man, oh, man, the
What's
smell.
What's your favorite thing from KFC?
Listen, you can't go wrong with just go with the basic that you went since you were a kid. You go with the fried chicken. You go with the mashed potatoes and gravy. You get you a side, whatever side you like. And, man, oh, man, you dip those biscuits in the gravy, and you can't beat it.
Well, I tell you what my favorite is, and it's not even close. It's the chicken pot pie.
Oh, yeah,
There's
really
nothing
good.
like it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And then, of course, Taco Bell. I'm a quesadilla guy.
Yeah,
and
right.
Coach, let's get to a few comments real quick before we get started. In the Jim Marr Service comment section, Stephen Castador says Martin County's 8th grade class is very talented. Stephen Newsom says Boyd County Middle School is back-to-back KBC Invitational champs.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, so hats off there. Jimmy Fletcher says my guy Billy Davis doing things big. BJ Parsley says sliding with Billy here. Said can't wait to see my Martin County team. Andrew Evans says super pumped for my kids to get a chance to play at this elite event. He will start it out with Lenore.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Then, I mean, from the get-go, this event, Coach, I can't overstate it that this is the deepest Zip Zone Classic that I've seen in my time of coming to the Zip Zone. Before, there was always a slow 1 or 2 games. There was either that first game that, you didn't care if you got here to the second game, or there was that game in the middle that you would go get something to eat.
Right.
This game here, you don't want to step out on any game.
Listen, it's from start to finish, and Darryl, both our kids played in the Zip Zone, and they took the future 15th region champs to the wire. Prestonburg almost knocked off McGoffin County in that opening game of the Zip Zone. But like you said, this year, top to bottom, unbelievable.
Yeah, this is an amazing event, and if you are an elite talent, listen, you better be begging your coach to get in this event in coming years.
Right.
That's why I mentioned to Coach James, I would love to see Belfry. Brody Little needs to be on this stage.
Brody Little, listen, Belfry, what Coach Britt Perry's done. I'm not saying this because Darryl's sitting here, and I'm not doing it for any other reason. You look at their transformation from the offseason until now, the work they put in. Those Belfry Pirates, the Brody Littles, the Carter Judes, the Hagies, the Bo Williams, that 2027 class, on top of what else they've got, they're deserving of a stage like this next year.
Yeah, they absolutely. This is a must for that group.
Yeah.
But whenever you sit and look, going in again, we talked to sponsors. We appreciate each and every one of them. We'll be wearing them out on Saturday. United Motorsports sponsoring this segment here. But Coach, going into this event here, you got multiple events going on in the mountains that day, but there's none even comes close to this event. This is the Mecca. This is the Super Bowl of basketball. In Kentucky, there's 3 things that you got to play in. That's your region tournament, state tournament, and the Zip Zone Classic.
Yeah.
This week, just for us to be a part of this and be able to cover this, it's a bucket list for me.
Right.
Honestly, there's nothing. This is one of my biggest dreams. I'm glad that James Mills, Sandy, Jim Booth, and folks decided to partner with us. I'm glad Ashley Dalton stepping up, helping make this happen. All the partners, David Jones, Darryl McCoy, you, Billy, Michael Sean, all the people that's coming in, going to make this Zip Zone Classic thing happen and make it special. Because this right here, as I mentioned, we just want to show. We want to be the outlet for the people in Martin County to show the Zip Zone Classic to the world.
Right.
That's what we want to do.
And if we didn't, listen, this isn't about finances. This isn't about anything like that. It's about passion. Because, listen, this ain't one game and we're out of there. Yeah. If me and Darryl McCoy and the rest of the crew didn't want to be there, it's a gauntlet. We're going to be there from start to finish. If we didn't love it, no, you better believe we wouldn't be there, Mr. Waller. Not at all. This is a big-time event, and we're dialed in and locked in from start to finish. You're talking about game after game after game. D&D will be there every single step of the way.
All day long we'll be there.
Yeah.
And, listen, it starts at 10:15 in the morning with Lenore versus Martin County Middle.
Yeah.
You got Coach Copeland, one of the best coaches in the business. I'm pretty sure, is he the coach of the – I'm not sure if he's the coach of the boys team or not. I don't think he coaches the boys. But the people at Martin County Middle, they got a big piece this summer. They got the Sturgill kid from Kermit, coming over. This is a kid that's been averaging, somewhere between 15 to 22 a game in his first few games. Then over at Lenore, Andrew Evans has built something there to where he's getting kids. He picked up a big talent from Mate 1. I forgot, Sebastian, I think was his name.
Right.
A lot of talent there. Andrew's laying the foundation of a great program there, and for him to be able to get Lenore in this event, that's huge for that Lenore program.
Yeah, big time. A junior high getting on a stage such as this, good, perfect time, especially if you believe you're a player, man on man. Not only are you going to be in front of a big time crowd and individuals, but also, of course, the D&D power behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, as we mentioned, that's the thing that makes this special is the Zip Zone has always been a closed event, to streaming.
Right.
And this year, this is the first time that they're allowing anybody to come in and stream it, and they're using the Mountain's #1 source for sporting news to do it. Partnering with D&D Sports Network this year, Martin County, they understand it, and they understand the talent they got, and they want their talent on the biggest stage and their event on the biggest stage, and we just hope that we can do this event justice.
And this is where this helps because again, a lot of events going on, and college coaches are always roaming the sidelines or in the bleachers at Martin County. I've seen it for my own eyes, but listen. I know for a fact, there's going to be a lot of coaches tuning in to the D&D Sports Network. They've told me directly. They've told my son directly. So what does that do? Listen, you're talking about Nolan Kaufman. You're talking about Reese Davidson, Jacob Spurlock, Austin Sloan, Ethan Cole, Brock Woods, Caden Harris. The list goes on and on. College coaches' eyes now more than ever, from California to New York to Florida, all points in between, D&D is going to provide an outlet for it.
Can I get a warning? I know I got some breaking news.
Go ahead. Give it to me.
Coach Jason James just messaged me. He forgot to mention this year they'll be playing with a 35-second shot clock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, breaking news.
That's breaking news.
Yeah, 35-second shot clock.
That's news to me.
And everybody knows, it's going to happen next year in high school basketball. For them to play with a shot clock this year, this is huge.
That is big.
Yeah.
Wow. That's big time news, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, huge news. So breaking news here. Zip Zone Classic will be playing with a 35-second shot clock.
Man, that even adds more intrigue to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm stoked, man. That's awesome, and it teaches these kids. That was one thing. My son. One of the hardest things he said he had to get used to is playing with that shot clock.
Right.
There's no, you're not going to stay out there and dribble the air out of it. You're going to come down, and that plays in Martin County's favor the way Jason James likes to play.
You're exactly right. Should.
Yeah. So as we're sitting here, Coach, matchup 1, and Michael Sean, throw up the airing soon there real quick. Let people see the matchup just for a second. Matchup 1. Who do we got, Michael Sean?
Paintsville and Huntington, West Virginia.
Yep. So Paintsville versus Huntington High. You can take it down. Paintsville. No, you got to transfer it where the people at home can see it. Paintsville versus Huntington High, Coach. Paintsville is the 4th winningest program all time in the state of Kentucky. Imagine a Class A school from Eastern Kentucky, the 4th all-time winningest program.
The beat keeps going with Paintsville. Always has, always will. From Coach Runyon to Landon Sloan, man oh man. And Darryl, you know this. You go back to the Keith Atkins, the John Pelfreys, the J.R. Van Hooses, Todd Tackett, right?
Yep.
The list goes on and on. And now guess what? You got that group that's been together since they've been in 5th grade. Listen, you talk about a group that has not left, not departed. They're there. They're ready. If they're not a number 1 team in the 15th region, they're a top 2 or 3.
And they got Andrew Meeks. We'll talk about Paintsville here in a second, Coach. Huntington High comes in. You talked about it, O.J. Mayo, Patrick Patterson, proud program.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you ever went to Huntington High, it is neat going up that hill, seeing all them state championships along the way up the hill.
Yeah.
It's really neat. But Huntington High coming in, they are head coached by Lambros Savangos. Savingos, he was there last year, but they ended last season 24-25 season, coach 10-13 record. That's down to Huntington High standards. They was Class 4A region finalists, so they still made it to the region title, although they had a slow year.
Yeah.
And you could imagine why, because they're going to play the who's who.
Right.
And then key losses was Tavion Chandler, Avante Crawford, Jamari Tubbs, Tristan Hornbuckle. Key returners Pearson DeJanic and Isaiah Lapsley. They lost 39.5 points per game from last season. They averaged 57 points a game, so they lost a large portion of their scoring. This is a team, Coach, that has a legit shot to win 4A in West Virginia, and they're taking on single A Paintsville. You got Landon Sloan, former Kentucky Wildcat. You got Dr. Alan Baldwin on the bench.
Right.
And then you go down that lineup. Brock Woods, Ethan Code, two of the top kids in that 27 class. Preston Sloan is back on the team.
Yeah.
Anderson Lawford, the most underrated player, maybe in the 15th region. I mean, this kid, people don't understand how good this guard is.
Yeah.
And then you got Graham Schutz coming over from Prestonsburg. Then on top of that, you got maybe outside of Belfry, maybe the biggest transfer class that there is. They got the kid JoJo that come over from overseas.
Right.
Then you got the kid from Whitley County, which I'm hearing he's quite the player. I think he's he's originally from Paintsville.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I know I'm forgetting another kid that I think they have I think 4 or 5 transfers in a week's time.
Right. Yeah.
So Andrew Meeks.
That's right.
Yeah, going over there. So this Paintsville team, one of the dark horses. To me, I think the two dark horses to win they're not really.
No.
Paintsville's not a dark horse.
Yeah.
They're right there with Johnson Central as one of the favorites. But if you ask me to put money on who's going to win the 15th region this year, and listen, wherever the bookies are, come find me because I want to put some money.
Right.
I heard the 14th region is having some problems with betting, so if you can hook me up with that bookie, please let me know.
Right.
But you got Paintsville and Shelby Valley, I think, are the two that in my book would be the two I put money on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Paintsville is as good as anybody. Everybody understands who they are as a basketball player, and that's important. So Brock Woods, they're trim down, lost probably 20 pounds. You've got Ethan Cole, who understands 6 feet and in, unstoppable in 15th region, but he's extended his game. I mean, there's just a lot to like, and Paintsville's going to be a little better, and that's always been their Achilles heel, Darryl, at the Expo Center the last couple of years, is getting up and down the floor. Well, now they got some guards that can transition much better. Yeah.
They'll be able. Teams won't be able to. They won't be able to exploit them.
Right.
In a transition game like they have. In a couple of years past. And yes, I understand Johnson Central and Lawrence County is the favorites.
Yeah.
I think rarely does the favorites win out. So
Right.
I'm gonna put my money on them two and hopefully become a rich man. But,
Right.
it is what it is. But, we'll get to Lawrence County and Johnson Central here in just a second. But, this Paintsville team, you mentioned, Graham Schutz, you got to see him a lot last year. One of the top young talents in the mountains. Here's the interesting thing for me. You got Preston Sloan, who had an unbelievable travel season with the Appalachian Outlaws, AAU season. And, Preston Sloan, one of the most decorated AAU players maybe of all time. I don't know that they've lost a game. It's been a long time since they've lost a game at Appalachian Outlaw program. But you add him and Graham Schutz with Anderson Lawford, and then you add the new transfers. I look forward to seeing who's out there on that starting lineup.
Well, how's that going to work? Because I believe Graham may have started in that first preseason game. That says a lot that Landon trusts that 2029 ninth grader. But here's the deal. I'll say this, they're at Prestonsburg, and great kids, and they worked hard, but there was 3 kids that really put in that extra work night in, night out. One was my son, one was Jackson Estridge when he was there for those 3 years, and the other, after Jackson left, was Graham Schutz. He was the one in that gym. So Landon's rewarding hard work. And Graham, you can see it in his body and his frame. He handles it well, shoots it well, so he can play on the ball or off the ball.
Well, I tell you how much he's improved and how much his hard work's paid off is I actually can remember his name now. It's not Graham.
Yeah, that's
Graham.
true. Right.
Yeah,
now, so now he's like, man.
Graham.
Yes, that kid can go.
But I used to call him Grant all the time.
Well, it's easy because Grant,
Varney,
and
Varney. I got confused, but he this Paintsville team, I really think it's going to be an exciting year in Paintsville for girls and boys. But Landon Sloan, I think, has got him another region contending team right here.
100%. And the half court, and I watched them several times, especially last year late against Prestonsburg. They are really good offensively in the half court. They swing the ball really well. And, again, they know where to go and who to get the ball to. And that's so important. They don't say, well, I'm trying to be this kid. I'm trying to be that guy. I'm trying to be the go-to guy, Michael Sean. No, we know we need to get the ball to Ethan. We know we need to get the ball to Brock Woods. And that makes it much easier as a basketball team and as a coach when you understand who your 2 top guys are, especially on the offensive end.
Now, Alan Baldwin says they have 9 juniors.
Wow.
Yeah, 9 juniors.
And
then Greg Wood says Tay Wilson injured last game of playoffs. Said Clemson commit, probably not playing. What are you talking
for
about?
For Wayne?
Is it?
Or
no,
for Huntington?
No, might be Huntington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Huntington.
Yeah.
But this right here, and we talked about Huntington High losing. Them key losses, but one of the names we didn't mention may be one of their biggest, and we're going to get to him later when we talk about Ashland. But Elijah Owens, coach, that was a huge loss because Elijah Owens is one of the top players in all of Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, really, really good, and you're going to get to see him this Saturday.
Yeah, for Huntington. So Tay Wilson won't be playing.
Yeah.
So you always
tough.
See that, especially right before this event.
Right. Yeah.
But Coach, moving on to game 2, what do we got, Michael Sean?
We have 12:50 Lawrence County versus Hazard.
Now, Coach, coming into this one right here, Lawrence County, the reigning 15th region champs, 22-11 record last year, coached by Chandler Thompson. They lost. Let's see. No, this is not who they lost.
But they lost Gunnar Woods.
Yeah. They lost. No, these right here, these seniors, Ellis, Branham, and Sanford, they didn't play for Lawrence County last year. They lost Gunnar Woods.
Yeah, Gunner's a big one.
Yeah. He's the sharpshooter, 22 points a game, I think.
Yeah.
No matter how you go, they averaged 75 points a game last year. They're returning a large portion of their lineup. Gunnar Woods, no matter how you cut it, 22 points a game. He was their star shooting guard. That's a huge loss.
It's a huge loss, more ways than one, because it's how Chandler wants to play. Yep. And he fit Caden Harris so well. He fit Caden Johnson so well. And, of course, Luke Federoff then could do what he does, which knock down those 3 balls.
Yeah.
So you plug out a piece like that, well, they found a piece.
Yeah. They definitely inserted a piece, and that's what people are, wondering. Losing Gunnar Woods, knowing that they like to get up and down the floor, they like to turn you over. People are wondering this piece. He comes in to Kentucky. People's got to see him through the summer. They got to see him in AAU season. But the people in the 15th region hasn't got to see C.J. Waller yet. C.J. Waller by Prep Hoops, they sent him one showcase ranking number 17 kid in the class.
Yeah, shot up.
Yeah, I mean, he skyrocketed up the rankings. This kid come over from Tulsa. This is 2 years in a row that the 15th region has got a kid from Tulsa and is predicted to be one of the biggest stars in the region.
Yeah.
And, CJ Coach, this summer I traveled with CJ a big part of the summer. AAU, my son played a few games with him this summer. I went to numerous college camps, numerous showcases, and people got to see him in summer ball last year, but they didn't get to see what this kid truly is. CJ, during summer ball, I'll be honest with you, he stayed outside the three-point line. He was a little bit lazy at times.
And well, let's remember, he also turned an ankle or something at some point, so he wasn't at 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead.
But he went to work after summer ball.
Yeah.
And credit Bob Hovanak, with the Big Shots program, done a great job, helping him get ready, get him in shape, and then Chandler Thompson, has really put in the work. This kid, it would not, I seen him at the KCU camp. I was telling Coach Charlie Pack, I said, you got to see this kid. I said, 6'7". I said, he's a rim protector. I said, he's got really high IQ, can stretch the floor, good passing. I said, he went there and he was a rock star, one of the biggest kids. Him, Brody Little, Caden Harris was probably three of the best kids at the camp.
Yeah.
And he offered CJ. CJ's picked up a couple offers. This team right here, can they play with a big? That's the interesting. You lose Gunnar Woods, who was a two guard, but the way Chandler likes to play, how long will it take them to learn to play with that interior piece? And you lost one of your outside threats, but listen, Caden Harris, Coach, put in a lot of work shooting the ball.
Yeah, well, let me finish off with CJ. I'm always, just because of, that's what I've done my whole life. As soon as I watch a kid, I start evaluating, breaking him down. So I had a chance to watch him work out one evening. He was actually with my son, and they worked out, and immediately okay, this kid has the versatility, especially in the 15th region, to not only play in the interior, because he'll be very dominant because there's a lack in size in this region, but man, he can step out as well. He can knock that three ball down. He can score it around mid-range. He can get to the rim. But where he's going to be valuable, he's never been. Lawrence County, they turn you over, but now they got a rebounder to initiate their break.
Yep.
So a little different, but they've got a defensive stop, because to get a defensive stop, you got to get a defensive rebound.
Yep.
Well, more than ever, because they do give up a lot of offensive rebounds in the past. Not anymore. C.J. Waller's there. So this guy going to average 10 to 14 rebounds a game. No doubt should. So C.J. Waller, very impressive. Top ranked number 2 in the state in this region in the 2027 class. That's high praise because, like you said, only saw him once. Then you turn over to Caden Harris, who you're a big fan of. And I'm gonna bring something up, and you tell me if I'm wrong. And I don't think there's a bigger – he's the president of the fan club of Ken Wirtz. He loves Ken Wirtz. Everybody loves Ken Wirtz, but man, oh man, he loves Ken Wirtz. Tell me if Caden Harris is not a lot like, with his speed and change of pace, man, is a lot like Ken Wirtz, but might not be the same floor. He's a great floor general. Ken was different, but might be a better scorer.
Yeah, well, that's the difference in him and Ken Wirtz is Caden's a better scorer than Ken. Ken, he's the type, he's going to bring the energy. He's going to toy with defenders, and he's going to find open guys, and that's the thing that makes Ken special is the energy he brings. Caden,
the speed.
His speed, as you mentioned, his change of pace.
Oh my goodness.
How he finishes at the rim.
Yeah.
He's able to absorb contact and finish strong.
Yes.
The kid has a great mid-range jumper, and the most improved part is his outside game. This is a kid that when he goes to college, he's going to step in year one, and he's going to play no matter where he goes.
And the reason,
no matter where.
And the reason, Darryl, just like Ken Wirtz, and he stepped in right at UPike and made an impact in one of the best programs in America. Caden Harris, kind of same. I don't think people going to find out this year, but his speed is college level speed, and he's going to have a step on people at next level, just like Ken. Where sometimes you get to that next level, and all right, now you're meeting, and maybe you're not that guy that you were in high school, and you got to find other ways to create. Caden Harris still going to blow by people.
Imagine being in that 58th district,
Oh, my
and you
God.
get to see him and Chris Spriggs,
Yeah,
wow. A couple times
Right.
this year.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
That's going to be insane.
Yeah.
But and imagine this: that kid didn't even get to play at Chesapeake.
Yeah. What's going on there?
Yeah. So something's going on there. Maybe some daddy ball.
Right, you could be.
And I don't know. So
Right.
don't-
Yeah, we're just- yeah,
don't shoot me.
Yeah, right.
Coach. But Lawrence County, the truly maybe the most miraculous run I've ever seen of a kid, Caden Johnson.
Wow.
KJ Johnson, from the 3-game run that he had in the region. Well, it started in district, but the run he had in the postseason last year went from being the 5th option on offense to the first option. During the region tournament. Then the storyline of him getting hurt in the region, coming back. Everybody on their feet. He come running out, his head bandaged like
that was
Hollywood
great.
Hawk Coach.
Yeah, love
hit
it.
the 3, and the rest was history.
Man.
There's not another kid in the region like Caden Harris either. He's so physical. He plays so hard, and the kid, he becomes so good in that run, postseason run offensively. That people didn't get to see what he truly is. This kid is a defensive nightmare.
Right.
And in football, he is a cheat code.
Yeah.
Like he's insane. Like he could have been the best runner.
Yeah.
He may be the best running back in all the Cofield.
Yeah, Caden Johnson, 20 plus, 20 plus, 20 plus, and the games wasn't close for the most part in that regional run. After they got knocked out by Prestonsburg, I mean, they went on a run and they gelled. And Caden Johnson was the catalyst. He was as good as Gunner, as good as Caden Harris was. Luke, the rest of I'm missing some. Oh, how am I forgetting Hayden Perry?
Yeah.
Hayden Perry was an offensive rebounding machine that region tournament, but.
Caden top 20-27 target.
Yes, and he's improved tremendously.
Yeah.
Like, not that but he's taken his game to another level.
You see him the other day come down the lane with almost flush.
Left-handed too, I believe.
This kid, and still, no matter what you say, we talked about Caden Harris, we talked about Caden Johnson. That Lawrence County run never happens without Hayden Perry and that questionable 3-pointer.
Right. Yeah.
But Hayden Perry, listen, we talked about it all year long. We talked about it before the region tournament. We said, he's coming in, he's shooting like 28 or 28% from 3-point range. We was like, but we guarantee you when the game's on the line, you don't want anybody else to have that ball.
Right. And the thing about it is though he didn't shoot the ball like he normally does throughout his career last year, what he provided for Lawrence County, he said, you know what, maybe I'm not shooting. And he did have a big game. I can't remember which game it was in that region tournament. But, Darryl, his ability to chase down rebounding was just at a different level.
He was Dennis Rodman-esque.
Right. Just unbelievable. His effort and energy was a spark.
Yeah, and hopefully this year that's where C.J. Waller helps out.
Yeah, that's exactly
won't have to spend that kind of energy on rebounding and other parts because they got a C.J. Waller to dominate the glass.
Yeah, I agree with you. C.J., that's where the difference in Lawrence County this year can be is now they got a guy that's going to grab that defensive rebound outlet. Now we're gone.
Yeah, and C.J. also, mark this down, he'll lead the 15th region in block shots this year.
Yeah, I could see it.
He's that good of a shot blocker, light off his feet.
Right. If not, you can bank it top 3.
Yeah, definitely. But this team, and then Luke Featheroff. Listen, I think he had over 500 points, 500 rebounds. I think. This kid again, one of the underrated talents. He just does what he needs to do. Whatever Chandler Thompson needs, he buys in and does.
We've seen personally Prestonsburg, both our sons playing there. Luke hitting big shot after big shot to bring Lawrence County back in the final 2 minutes for a win. Luke can hit big shots and does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and then last but not least, listen, they got the young talent. Or you got Braxton Davis, coming off the bench.
I've always been a fan.
Yeah, high energy kid, defensive kid. Can really fill it up from 3-point range. He can score at a high pace when he needs to. But Isaiah Hughes is a kid that getting better and better. Had a growth spurt. He's a kid that's going to shock.
That's right.
This year.
I agree.
Yeah.
Lawrence County positioned for another regional run. And yeah, Saturday we're talking about matchups, but their schedule's conducive for success this year. So they're going to have a lot of confidence heading into postseason play. But this game's going to tell you a lot this Saturday.
Oh, it absolutely will, because on the other side, Lawrence County is the favorite to win. Denver Johnson Central is the favorite to win the 15th region.
Yeah.
In the 14th region, it's the Hazard Bulldogs.
Right.
Casey Huff coming over from
Yeah.
Lawrence County. You talk about last year, Hazard. They was 29-3. Obviously one of their biggest losses was the legend Al Holland.
Oh man. Yeah.
But here comes Casey Huff, the energy Casey Huff. They lost Ridge Beverly, Evan Eversole, Kenyon Higgins, Nick Ratcliffe, Braden Yance. They lost 31.8 points a game out of their 65 a game.
Do you know this? You know where Ridge is at? He's a walk-on at EKU. Yeah. Big honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it don't surprise me.
Right. Yeah. There's some legacy there with his brother, right? Or
cousin.
Or his cousin.
Yeah, Braxton.
Yeah. So that's huge. But they lost, of course, the big fella, who Darryl McCoy, again, the biggest fan of Mr. Evan Eversole. That's tough to replace.
And Coach, he's having an elite season at Alice Lloyd right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing that he's playing really well.
He is.
And Darryl, they lost maybe the best coach in the state, and Coach Holland, classy guy, but what they got in Casey Huff is energy, a different perspective, not that it's better or worse, but a different perspective. Casey Huff, listen, that guy, his motor's always running, Darryl. You know better than me.
It absolutely is. Casey, he sees things different.
Yeah.
He sees the world different. He's one of them players, or one of them coaches that he's a philosopher too.
Yeah.
He gives his kids homework. He teaches them life lessons.
Right.
It ain't just basketball
Yeah.
with Casey Huff.
Mhm.
One of the kids love Casey
Yeah.
Huff. They obviously, whenever you look at what they return, Coach, it's you got Seth Cottle. A lot of people have him favorite to win 14th Region Player of the Year.
They do.
You got the kid Talon Osborne that come
Yes.
over from Knott County, high flyer, maybe the most athletic kid in our coverage.
Right.
Well, no, I ain't gonna say that. Elijah Owens is
Mhm.
the most athletic kid probably, but in the 14th region, he's
Yeah.
the most athletic kid. Then on top of that, you got the most underrated player, and I'm telling you right now, top 3 point guards in our area. Or if you're mentioning, and that's the thing about the zip zone, Coach, is you got point guard play galore. But when you talk top point guards, you talk Elijah Neal is, he's the best point guard in our area, true point. Then you got Caden Harris, Spriggs, but I'm telling you, Trace Kincaid, Coach, watch and see. This kid is going to shock everybody. This kid, Trace Kincaid, and I don't say this lightly, Trace Kincaid, if he focused on basketball, he could play Division I basketball.
Well, me and Darryl over the summer probably called 6 to 8 of his games.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, 14th Region, you can get on your social medias and you can get on whatever you do and talk about Darryl McCoy and Coach Keathley's opinions. I'll tell you this right now. You bank it, and I'm telling you, looking you right in the camera, Trace Kincaid's the real deal. And you're going to find out this Saturday at the Zip Zone. You want to buy a $10 ticket, and if you can't, you're going to want to tune in to D&D. That young man, Casey Huff, you listening? That guy's a Player of the Year candidate, and then some. The guy can go, Michael Sean Waller.
I love
His motor and his leadership and how he controls a game, he's tough, and he matches Casey Huff's intensity. I'm sure they butt heads every once in a while because of how they're similar. But that young man can play, and I think he's a baseball guy.
Yeah, he's a baseball guy.
But like you said, if he locked in, he's a next level performer.
Yeah, I mean he's that good. He's got the size, and the thing is they're going to play him at 2 guard.
Right.
And he's a natural one. One of the best point guards that you'll see. I'd say
Right.
probably Elijah Neal, then him. But they're going to play him at the 2, and you're really going to see how this kid can shoot the 3-ball too.
I agree with you. I love the kid. Me and Darryl's on the same page. He's a real deal.
And then the kid you don't want, of course they got Fullwood, but the kid that you don't want to overlook and may have the biggest impact on the game is Tucker Johnson.
Yeah.
He's just a rebounding machine, energy, defense. He's going to do all the little things that coach, and he's a lot better offensive player than anybody gives him credit for. He can hurt you if you don't pay attention to him.
I agree with you. Hazard has all the pieces and all the makings. This is Casey Huff's moment, and I'm not putting no pressure on you, Coach Huff, because Perry Central is going to be really good. I think Powell County is going to be right there with you guys, and then I think Knott County by the end of the year, they're going to be solid. And I'm missing somebody else, but listen, I'm telling you right now, this is Coach Huff's moment, Darryl McCoy. They have all the pieces put together. The team fits and links together. They got an elite scorer in Seth Cottle. They got an elite guard in Mr. Kincaid. They got an elite athlete in Osborne. And like you said, Tucker Johnson and a host of others. You're going to want to tune into this. Hazard, Lawrence, speed, coaching.
Yep.
How does that win out?
Huff, Chandler Thompson. Yeah,
right.
2 of the best.
Yes.
So this, is one of my favorite matchups
yeah,
of the day.
I think so.
Michael Sean, get ready as I'm gonna read a couple comments. Go ahead and throw up the graphics so we can see who the next one is. But the Jim Marr service comments section. Susan Kincaid says, "Go Trace Kincaid, go Dogs." Lynn Keathley says Elijah Neal is a great player. Greg Wood says Malachi Payne.
Yes.
I forgot about Malachi.
You better mention Malachi.
Yeah, I forgot about Malachi. Yeah. But we'll get to him here in a second. But what's the next matchup?
The next matchup coming up is Shelby Valley versus Ashland. It just gets better.
You kidding me?
I mean, you got Matt Taylor versus Coach Bonner.
Yes.
You got Boyd County might actually be the favorite over Ashland this year in the 16th, but Coach Bonner, it's 1A, 1B. This Ashland team, I can't say enough. Elijah Neal, I followed him all summer. I filmed the Big Shots team that he was on. This kid had Division I schools. Every single time he took the floor, there was a Division I coach there watching him.
Yeah.
He's the best point guard east of Winchester. I took him down to the EKU camp. I was telling the folks that next up about him, and they watched him one time and they fell in love with him.
Right.
He's Jason Williams-esque with his passing. You better have your head on a swivel because he's going to hit you.
Go ahead.
But then, or go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've watched Elijah since he's been in junior high. I think even Braxton and him may have played a game or two briefly on the same AAU team. And I've watched him. They played in showcase camps, events together. What makes Elijah really, really good, and you just nailed it, very few players see one play, 2 plays ahead.
Yeah.
Elijah Neal may be the best in our coverage area at seeing the game advanced ahead of where he's at the present moment. He's that good of reading what's going down. Really, really good. Elijah Neal, his greatest asset is his IQ, his ability to facilitate, but he can also score the basketball. He led Russell in scoring, Darryl, a couple of years ago. He's the real deal, and he's going to be the engine that gets that team rolling. Ashland, and I think his teammate from Russell has joined him now, and Caleb Rimmer, and we'll see if he suits up.
No, Rimmer's at Boyd.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Boyd's at
he's at Boyd
okay.
County. I got to see him yesterday.
Yeah.
But Elijah Neal, the most underrated part is his defense. This kid is a lockdown defender, coach.
He's gotten much better. Yeah.
He's got so much better on the defensive end. Huge fan of Elijah Neal, and he can score at a high level if needed.
Right.
But he's one of them kids. He don't care about scoring.
Right.
He wants to set his teammates up. That's his goal.
Yeah.
And then you go and look Elijah Owens, going Justin Hughes. Ashland. They come into this game. Obviously, they lost Xander Carter. He was a Mr. Basketball candidate, one of the best players the Mountains have ever seen. Xander, an elite point guard playing at Liberty now, led them to a 24-8 record that ended at Rupp. Preston Hoskins. They lost Tyson Lalonde. They lost 41 points of their 65 points a game. And, whenever you look, Ashland's always been a team that they don't have to have bigs either. They'll out-rebound you because they know how to rebound the three ball.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Hughes, you just go down the line. You talk about, I'm losing his name here. The kid, I'll think of it here in a second. His brother was the big quarterback last year, and I know this family personally, so I feel horrible, but I'm having a brain stump here. But this team, they're young, and the addition of Elijah Owens, top athlete in maybe all of our coverage area. He's going to put on a show. He's going to be high flying. He's going to have 4 or 5 dunks in this game. And then we'll talk here in a second about Shelby Valley coach. But Coach Bonner's bringing another team in that has a chance to win the 16th region and end their season at Rough Range.
It's going to be really interesting as we move to Shelby Valley. Style of play, a little different. Both sides coach it a little different. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Straighter, so I'm thinking about. But going over, then you got Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor, you talking about a different breed, brother. You got a different breed.
Hey, listen, I'll say this as we move along. And I know he don't care that I say this because he says you better believe it. And I say this every time in the best way. That guy's got the biggest chip on his shoulder. In Eastern Kentucky, he walks in and everybody knows it, and he don't care. And that's what I love about it. That's the reason I jive with Coach Taylor, is because he don't care what nobody else thinks. He does it his way, and he knows it works. And he's as passionate about basketball as anybody that you'll meet.
You're 100% right. He is a true ball coach.
Yeah.
Coach, I'll tell you a little tidbit. How much I respect Coach Taylor is, going into college, I knew the one thing my son needed to do is get tougher.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Jackson could score with anybody, but he's got to get tougher. He's got to go down and rebound, got to be able to bang, got to be able to finish, and against big players and take bumps. So I told him I called it Hell Week.
Yeah.
And the last 2 weeks before he went to college, I sent him to Coach Taylor.
Yeah, right.
And he practiced with Shelby Valley.
Yeah.
And man, did it pay off.
Yeah.
Them boys, you're not. I promise you won't find a tougher team that in all the state of Kentucky than that team.
Right.
Of course, Shelby Valley last year, Coach. They lost Kyler Click, Logan Johnson, Colston Stamper, Wes Thompson, 14 points a game out of their 66. But coming back, you got their leading scorer, Gavin Hamilton. You got C.J. Johnson, guys. This kid is a lights-out shooter. You talk about kids that people don't know about yet. This is a kid that's going to take a lot of people by surprise this year. Then you got Jace down low. You got the kid Troy. Colin Newsom has been one of the biggest improved kids this summer, but no surprise bigger than Brady Johnson, Coach. I promise you this. Brady Johnson, to me, is the front runner to be Region Player of the Year.
My son has said this, Braxton Keathley, if you don't know who my son is. I don't know what it is. I think we've had rivals with everybody since he's been in 5th grade. But Shelby Valley was always one as well, going back to 5th grade. They were a little older. But he's always said, and let me say, Caden Johnson, as good a shooter as anybody in the region. That kid can flat out stroke it. But Brady Johnson, Darryl's nailed it. And my son has said this for a couple of years. They said, once Brady Johnson gets healthy, he may be the best player in the 2026 class. Yeah. And that's saying a lot because there's a lot of good 2026s. But Brady, athletic, can shoot it, can drive it, can just fill it up, but also can rebound it at a high level.
Coach, listen, Brady Johnson, this summer I took 4 or 5 kids around the state of Kentucky, going to colleges, going to showcases, and really promoting these kids.
Yeah.
And Braden Ferris from Tug Valley, Brady Johnson, Caden Harris, C.J. Waller, and Brody Little.
Yeah.
Them 6 kids, I've done everything I could, put them in front of colleges, took them to showcases, and tried to do everything I could to help these kids. Every one of them kids I could see being 6 of the top 10,
Yeah.
10 kids in the mountains.
100%.
They're that tough.
Yeah.
Brady Johnson is a high flyer. He's going to rock the rim multiple
Yeah.
times. I promise
Right.
you that. This kid, one of the best 3-point shooters in the 15th region.
Yeah.
He's got a great mid-range game. He's athletic. He's tough, Coach. And Gavin Hamilton is, he's a floor general. He's going to come in, he's going to run your team, and he reminds me of my brother. A lot like him. He's small, got that chip on his shoulder, and he's ready to fight anybody at the tip of a hat.
Yeah, right.
This matchup right here is, I cannot wait. Shelby Valley, Ashland, you don't want to miss.
I'll say this. We talked about Trace. We talked about Caden Harris, Malachi Payne, Elijah Neal. Of all those guys, Gavin Hamilton is exactly right there with those guys. He is exactly the type of player that Coach Taylor wants at the PG spot. They mesh so well together.
Yeah, when you sit here, Greg Woods says Elijah Owens someone to watch at Ashland. Yeah, we just talked about him. The kid is a freak of nature. You guys will enjoy watching him. Him and Brady Johnson, you're not going to lack for the one of dunks.
Right.
Because you're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
Then, Coach, next matchup, I think, is Boyd County, North Laurel, right, Michael Sean?
Boyd County at Lyon County.
Is it Boyd County and Lyon County?
Lyon County at 3:30.
Okay, Coach, coming into this game, Boyd County, coached by one of the best coaches in all the Cofields, one of the most respected men in the coaching ranks, Randy Anderson.
Yeah.
Last year they ended 23-12. They lost Marcus Brumfield, Jackson Childers, Cole Hicks, Rhett Holbrook, Taylor Griffin. Coach, they lost a load of people. But, they averaged 75 points a game. They lost 40 points of it.
Yeah.
But listen, the 40 points they got left is probably Jacob Spurlock.
Right. Yeah.
This kid, we talked about Braxton being the leader scorer per game. I think Spurlock, if I'm not mistaken, is he is the leading active player in total points.
Yeah,
and,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this kid can score at any level.
Yeah.
He is a sniper, and how he's transitioned his game from being just a 3-point shooter into being an all-around talent is something that's been truly fun to watch.
Hey, you nailed it. Elite scorer. Big moments don't bother him, and that's why he's going to be just unbelievable at the zip zone. Can shoot it from deep, can drive it, got a jumper, can do a little bit of everything. And he just recently signed with Youngstown State, a Division I talent, and a Mr. Basketball front runner.
Yeah, we was just there to watch, and listen, I hope to goodness that, we want to make sure the state, that's why it's important that D&D is here covering this event, because, we want to really make a strong push on Jacob Spurlock winning Mr. Basketball. Kids from Eastern Kentucky always get, they got to have that help from the media because we don't have as many AP voters over here. So Spurlock, I'm telling you, this kid, if you like scoring, he's one, in my time, when you talk gifted scorers, he's in that range of, as well with your son, but he's in that range of the Irvin Steps, Cameron Justice, just a offensively gifted freak.
Yeah, really good. And then now he's got some guys around him that just we called a couple of their games over the summer, and I was like, this team's got a real shot. They'll be really, really good.
No, this could be the year they knock off the Ashland Tomcats.
I agree.
You got Malachi Payne.
Love him.
Caleb Rimmer. A lot of people, listen, people told me when Caleb Rimmer, they said, he's going for the vocational school. He's not going to play basketball. Yeah, right. I knew Caleb. We know Caleb Rimmer, and we knew there's no way he wasn't playing basketball.
Right.
But this kid, again, top 2027 talent, one of them. Then you look and take Gunnar Woods, 22 points a game coming from Lawrence County, gives Spurlock. That way defenses now can't just lock in on Spurlock.
That's right.
They got to respect Gunnar.
Man, and he's as good as anybody. Seen him a lot last year. Well, the last 2 years because you remember he transferred in. One of his first games was against Prestonsburg 2 years ago. That kid can go on both sides of the ball, and he's very tough-minded, and he's gritty. The kid, I listen, now on such a stage like what Boyd County has, wouldn't surprise me at all if you're looking at an all-state type player.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him especially playing off from Spurlock.
That's right.
You know, and then one of the biggest improvements was Malachi Payne.
Oh, man.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, getting that kid
Love
from
him.
Huntington Prep.
Yeah.
You know, he also, I forgot where else it was he played. He played up in Ohio somewhere, but Malachi, we covered him at Huntington Prep. This is a kid, he's got surprising hops.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's a small guard.
Yeah.
But Coach, a lot like Spud Webb,
Yeah.
he can get up and crush the rim.
He can get up, and he was one of my surprises during the summer when I watched him play. I was like, man, oh man, I fell in love with the kid even more. You're going to love Malachi Payne. In the 16th region, you're going to really love him this Saturday.
And Greg Woods, he hit on the guy I was going to talk about next, Ethan Raridan. Ethan Raridan is he's actually a D&D worker, Coach.
Oh, okay.
He calls games for us.
Yeah.
He's Boyd County three-point sniper. He shot 47% last year.
That's unbelievable.
Yep. And Malachi also played at St. Vincent St. Mary's, where I think there's also a good player that played there in high school, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Yeah, well, you're right. There's been some players there, right?
Was it LeBron?
Yeah.
You know, so the
I was
Malachi
like going,
Payne,
I was going brain dead there, and I was like, there's somebody. Yeah.
But you know, Malachi Payne's played at programs like St. Vincent, St. Mary's, Huntington Prep. He's going to bring that experience and you know that energizer bunny that Coach Anderson needed. I'm telling you, I don't know who you guard. And then, of course, Coach, you know, I'm sure coming off the bench, you got Big Jake.
Yeah, and man, oh man, there ain't nobody bigger.
No, the kid's a mountain.
Yes.
So, you know, and listen, this Boyd County team, Clark Huff, Coach.
That's your guy.
Yeah, is there a better three-point shooting team than Boyd County?
No.
You got Ethan Raridan, 47%. Clark Huff. You got Spurlock, Gunnar Woods. I mean, think of that.
Who do you, like you said, who do you guard?
Who do you guard?
Yeah.
And then, Coach, you go, I mean, they're not, listen, they probably won't get much playing time this year, but their middle school team is as good as anybody's in the mountains.
They could probably knock off a few high school teams.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane, you know, taking and looking at their young middle school talent that they got. It's that this Boyd County team is going to be fun to watch. You don't want to miss this game here. Boyd County, and they are matched up, Coach, with Lyon County. Coach, losing Travis Perry, you know, but you probably know a little more about this Lyon County team than I do. This is one of them that you probably got the insight better than I do. We know they're very well coached, but, you know, looking at this team, you know, they got one of the Mr. basketball candidates in 2027, right?
Nolan Kaufman, and he's a 6'5", 6'6", and he probably going to play more of a power forward for Lyon County, but he plays for that really great Indiana elite team that almost won a national championship through the summer, and he was a big part of that, being guarded by big-time players that you're going to see in the NBA one day, but he just gave them nightmares. Yeah. Nolan Kaufman did. He can score it. He can rebound it. He can shoot mid-range. Nolan Kaufman, really, really good. Got 4 Division I offers. You're not going to want to miss that. And I believe they also got a young man by the name of Jay Kirk. I could be wrong, but Jay Kirk can absolutely go as well. Lyon County is going to be really, really good.
Yeah, Lyon County, they're the favorites to come out of their region again.
I think so. Yeah.
And they're taking on Boyd County, who's probably the favorites to come out of the 16th.
Right.
So, I mean, that's your 4th or 5th matchup.
Right.
You know, and by the way, guys, we're going to have to hurry up here because I think KFC is closed.
They're saying, let's go.
But when you sit here and look, Coach, next matchup is who?
North Laurel at George Washington, West Virginia.
Coach, Reese Davidson coming in. Reed Shepard's little cousin coming in. Bringing a North Laurel team that, you know, everybody, you know, when you talk North Laurel, there's 23-11 last year. They're coached by Coach Nate Valentine, great guy. They lost Cole Jervis, Finn Mackerdale, Todd Sizemore, and they lost Well, it says they only lost 8 points of their 62 points a game.
Yeah.
So, returning a very strong team that also ended their season at Rupp.
Yeah, Reese Davidson put on one of the best shows that game against Breathitt County especially. What a back-and-forth game that was at Rupp. Knocked out Austin Sperry. Reese Davidson, I know fans, you're going to say that Coach Keathley's crazy, but Reese Davidson's ceiling, though he's committed to Liberty, didn't commit to UK, I promise you may see him at UK one day, maybe more versatile than Reed Shepard and has a higher ceiling. 6'8", NBA-type player in terms of his attributes. I'm not saying that the talent's there just yet, but his attributes, Reese Davidson, you're going to want to check him out. And probably going to the front nose ahead of everybody else for 2026 Mr. Basketball.
Well, I agree with you. I think he's he's the front runner. But Jacob Spurlock, if Jacob Spurlock has a season where he goes undefeated or only loses 1-2 games, then I think Jacob Spurlock he's going to have the numbers that. If he ends it at Rupp, he's got a really good shot.
As speeding this along, though, how can you go with the collective of it? Then Jacob Spurlock has to be your guy. If you go with the collective of your career, nobody has the career Jacob Spurlock has. I mean, Reese is behind him on that aspect of it. Jacob Spurlock, if you're going for the totality of his career, Jacob Spurlock's your Mr. Basketball.
Yeah, I mean, numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's the kid that deserves Mr. Basketball. I mean, he's got to prove it this year.
Right. Still got another year.
Yeah, he's got it. For him to win Mr. Basketball, they've got to knock off Ashland.
Yeah, that would be a big
They
part.
got to end their season at Rupp.
That would be. I think that would help him.
Yeah, I do too. You know, and so we want all you fans, Eastern Kentucky basketball fans, get behind Spurlock. Talk. Help this kid win Mr. Basketball. Get Mr. Basketball back here in the mountains, Coach. And then we'll make a run because next year we should have Mr. Basketball too. So then as we're sitting here, next. They're going to play George Washington.
Yeah.
George Washington, Coach. This George Washington team last year ended. They made a strong run in the state title, or toward the state title. George Washington's head coach is Rick Green. Has well over 500 career wins. He's a legend. Also they was 21-5, and they was 4A runners up last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they was in the state title game. I got to watch every moment of that. Listen, key losses, Gail Lamb, he was second team All-State. Of course, their key returner, Noah Lewis. Maybe, it's either him or Eli Sampkin is the best player in West Virginia.
Yeah.
No matter how you go, whether you go with the guard or you go with the big,
right.
One of them two, Sampkin, by the way, is already committed to Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
But Noah Lewis, this kid put on a show last year. He was the most unstoppable force at the Zip Zone Classic last year. If you've not watched this kid, get there and watch him and Reese Davidson. Both of them has a chance to win the Player of the Year in their respective state.
100%.
This is going to be a matchup you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
And then G-Dub also has the young 2028 talent, Dominic Sprouse. A really fun player to watch. You guys are going to have to get there and watch this GW team. Kentucky fans that don't know G-Dub, I promise you, North Laurel will have their hands full.
Yeah.
The next matchup
is going to the girls' side, Martin County versus Phelps at 6'10".
Listen, Macy Maynard, Chloe May, McKenna Markham. We talked about the young players.
The young players.
Yeah, Desiree Gullett. We talked about the Davis girl, Annalie Davis. Numerous D&D all-stars, on that team. But, and then they got the legend Robin Newsom coaching them. Home court advantage. But coming in, you got what might be, maybe the favorite to be the in the 60th district, and that's hard to say. But Justin McCoy, after surprising year last year, he lost a couple of graduation, but you still got Kaylin Sloan, and you got one of the state's leading scorers in Callie McCoy coming. I'm very excited that Callie's getting a chance to play on this stage because, listen, you local colleges that's not offered this young lady, what are you doing, Coach? This young lady is a special kid on and off the court.
Yeah, well, because go back and watch this. We kind of previewed this early in the show, but I'll say this. Callie McCoy, 25 points per game, probably going to lead the region in scoring. If it ain't her, it's Callie Kenner. Big-time player, going to make a run at 15th Region Player of the Year. She's that good, right? And you've got the matchup. Hall of Famer Robin Newsom, who I love always watching as a coach. I love it, against a young pup, and Coach McCoy doing a tremendous job bringing home district championships. And my buddy Phil down there, man, I can't wait. I hope he comes to Inez. It's going to be a great matchup, and it's going to be great to see where Martin County is making some adjustments with some pieces no longer there. So I'm excited for this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot wait. This, normally, a lot of times during the girls' game, I would go get something to eat. Yeah, not this year.
No, we're staying.
We're staying this year. And next up, who do we got?
We have Johnson Central versus Chapmanville at 7:30.
You kidding me?
Coach, this matchup right here, of course, Chapmanville comes in, Brad Napper, 24-25 record was 15-8. They was quarterfinalists in 3A. They lost Joey Gollahue, first team All-Stater. They returned Jay Brock, Dakota Dalton, Benji Atkins, Keaton Terry. Listen, this matchup right here is one of the most flipped matchups that we've seen. A month ago, I would have guaranteed you Johnson Central wouldn't have had their football players, and Chapmanville would have had every one of theirs. Now it's the other way around. Johnson Central they got their entire team, but Chapmanville is a shell of itself.
What you thought was going to be a big-time matchup, and it's still going to be. Make no mistake, because you got Coach Napper, who going to figure it out by Saturday. You're right, it flipped.
Yeah.
Johnson Central, now they're going to have everybody.
Yeah.
And Chapmanville going to be without, for sure, maybe their best combo.
You're going to have, like you said, their top combo, the 2028 duo of Dakota Dalton and Keaton Terry. Keaton Terry, best rebounder that I've seen, and I don't say that lightly because Tyler Weddington's right there, But Keaton Terry is an animal. He was in a four-wheeler accident. He's not playing. Dakota Dalton, Benji Atkins will be playing football. Trying to make a run at state title. But the players that will be there, you will have Jay Brock. He's going to be one of the surprises this year. Up and coming talent. I followed him this summer in AAU. Really surprised player. When he's one of them, he just has to get the consistency. One game he'll come out and he'll blow your doors off, and you'll be like, man, that kid is a next level talent. And then he'll come out, and the next game he may lay back a little bit. Once he gets that consistency, Jay Brock will be one of the top players in the mountains. And then you got Logan Hovanak, a kid coming in. Kid can really run the point. One of the top defenders in all the Cofields. The kid gets after on defense. Really tough, gritty player. Big fan of Logan's. You're gonna have him, Jay Brock, and that's trying to think. Oh, and Eli Smith. Eli Smith comes over from Lincoln County. I think he averaged 22 or 24 points a game last year for Lincoln County. Kid can play the 3 or the 4. In some systems he'll play the 2. Eli, very skilled kid. He's a kid that spent time playing at Huntington Prep as well. Eli will be one of the shockers of the year too. People underestimate him and Jay Brock. But the trio of Logan Hovanak, Jay Brock, and Eli Smith will make this a competitive game. And then over for Johnson Central, 90% of the people in the mountains has Johnson Central the favorites. You got Austin Sloan, you got Braden Shepard, coach best shooter in the region.
Man, he can knock it down, right?
Yeah. He's an elite shooter, and he's got so much better at getting to the rim, finishing. He moves without the basketball, plays defense, high IQ player. Big fan of his. Then you got Carl Rose, the monster in the middle. Man, how fun would it have been to see him and Keaton Terry battle?
That would have been a big time matchup, Darryl. Johnson Central is another team that's been together since they've been in 5th or 6th grade. They've been in wars together, and I've seen them grow up before my eyes. Austin, and what makes them great, and Darryl, they understand who to get the rock to.
Yep.
Austin Sloan, Braden Shepard. There are no other. Listen, we're not going to fool around here. Tommy McKenzie's getting the ball to those two guys and letting them go to work.
No, the other players,
they do what they do great.
They stay ready,
Yes.
and when their number's called,
Yes.
they come up big.
Right.
But listen, make no mistake about it. One of the most improved players, and I'm telling you, going into next year, he may be the best point guard in the 15th region. Mason McKenzie.
Big fan of his.
Coach,
Can flat out shoot it too.
Yes, he could shoot the rock, and he's added so much bulk. He's grew, and he's a coach's son.
Yeah.
Mason McKenzie is. People's not ready for Mason McKenzie this year.
Right, and I don't know, to be a point guard and maybe have the best trio in a 15th region. When I talk about Austin Sloan, dominant. Braden Shepard had 35 this past week at the Johnson Central Challenge, 15th Region Challenge, and then Kyle Rose. Is there a better trio in the 15th region in terms of position-wise? It's kind of like the big three with the Boston Celtics. You've got Bird, you've got McHale, you've got Parrish.
I don't think so.
Right.
Coach.
You got a similar.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, you've got a similar makeup with Johnson Central.
Yeah, I don't think so. Floyd Central's got Boyd and Spriggs. We'll have to see if Lucas Howard can get up to that level. Now I tell you, we're talking about the zip zone, but the Pikeville Panthers.
Yeah, they've got a host of guards.
And the addition of Wes Buck will be huge for them. But no, I think. I think you're right on the money, man. And you're right. Paintsville.
Yeah, they've got a
with,
great
with Lawfer Woods.
Yeah,
and,
but it should.
But it's not to that.
It's
level.
just not that right. It's that three. Paintsville might have the best collective of position by position by position, even going down to 8, 9.
Yeah.
But Johnson Central 1 through 5, and then like you got the Dennis Johnson and McKenzie. But guess what? You've got a big three that are as good as anybody. You can make an argument that Kyle Rose best center, though Tyler Weddington and Brock and those guys. Austin Sloan, best scorer, best small forward, right? I mean, is there a better small forward than
No, he's number one. As you seen on our recruiting guide.
Yeah.
He was the number one small forward.
And Braden Shepard's number one. Did you have Braden number one?
He was number one shoot guard. Yep.
Dude,
yep.
right.
And I'm telling you right now, Coach, mark this down. Go here. You need to write this down. 2 of the most surprising players in the mountains. I promise you this, that will pop up and people are like, wow, where'd they come from? Andrew Collins had a huge summer.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid, he's going to produce a lot more for this team than people think. And then Cooper Blair.
That's my guy.
Yeah, Cooper Blair, man, he's a stud.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how good that young man is. Mark him down in your little scorebook when you come to the zip zone. Cooper Blair is going to be a guy that's going to wow people.
If he wasn't at Johnson Central, I promise you, Cooper Blair starts on every other team in the 15th.
100%, I agree.
Yep, he's that good. So that matchup right there, Chapmanville Johnson Central next.
Last one.
It's the finale. Can I say something? You guys talking about this, I love sports, but how you guys have built these teams up, this is going to be the state tournament of all state tournaments I've ever seen, man. I'm loving this.
Oh, yeah. This is,
I got chills, I swear.
We're hoping we're giving it justice.
Yeah.
Okay, we have at 8:50, the finale, Martin County versus Wayne, West Virginia.
Coach, getting into this game right here. Listen, we'll go real quick with the Wayne team because, and then we'll get into Martin County. This Wayne team coming in, they're coached by Sean Meddings. They was 17-7 last year. They was a 3A regional finalist. They're playing in Class 2A this season in West Virginia. So they're going to have to get used to playing down in class, a little different competition. Key losses was Ike Meddings, Ronnie Staley, Cooper Atkins, and Peyton Markham.
Yeah.
Coach, these kids could flat out. Yeah. They lost 50 of their 68 points a game, through graduation. Isaac Meddings averaged 21 a game. He's playing at Oakland University right now. But returning, you got the Priest twins, Landon and Colton, and then you got Colton Heck. This team, this Wayne team, people thought because they lost 90% of their scoring that this Wayne team is going to struggle. This Wayne team may have a better chance of making the state tournament this year than they did last year. This is a very good team. I watched them this summer. This is a team. They beat Belfry. They played Johnson Central tough. I can't remember how the Huntington Prep, but this. Make no mistake about it. This matchup right here, this Wayne team can beat this Martin County team. I mean, they're that good.
Yeah. Listen, I agree, especially early in the year with Martin County still, they're trying to, got a lot of way to go before they figure out where they're at.
Yeah, and the Priest boys, Coach, they can flat out play, man. They're physical. They get after it. They got high IQs. They can score at 3 levels. Very fun kids to watch. Colton Heck, he's just a tough, gritty guard.
Yeah.
He's something like probably Caden Harris that you seen last year.
Right.
And the big fan of what they're doing. Coach Meddings, very good coach.
Yeah.
Martin County Cardinals. That's it. Listen, this is the Mecca. This is the main event. Martin County taking on Wayne in the final game. This game right here, obviously, last year you lost, what was it, 4 or 3 starters last year.
Yeah.
Lost a big part of what you do. They was 21-9, come up empty in the region title game. They lost to Aiden Armstrong, Peyton Davis, Braden Eastep, Skylar Morrison, BJ Parsley, Parker Watts. 53 of their 80 points they lost. But they did get a kid that scores 34 points a game coming in Braxton Keathley. A lot of kids think he's going to be a walking triple-double this year. Eli Mills from the corner, dead-eye three-point shooter. When you talk top three-point shooters, if you gave me 3, if you told me 3 kids for my life to take a 3 in the 15th region, it'd be Braden Shepard, Dylan Boyd, and Eli Mills.
That's a nice group for Eli to be associated with. And I'll say this and I've had a chance to watch these guys. Eli Mills has put in the work. Like I've seen it day in and day out. He's in the gym, he's working. He's in the gym, he's working. So the Eli you saw last year going to be even better this year. And I saw from what I was told and from highlights in the 15th Region Challenge, man, oh man, he got it going in the second half. Buried 3 or 4 threes, like you said, can nail it from deep. And now he can also, they close out, he can drive it. So Eli Mills, big, along with some of those other returners, Darryl, that Maynard, who you're a big fan of, Devin Maynard.
Huge. Devin Maynard is a freak of nature, guys. Devin has never scratched the surface of and let people see what he's capable of, Coach. I mean, this kid is 6'6". He's chiseled out of stone. He's a high flyer. And he's an elite shot blocker when he wants to. Devin is an energy guy. He's going to be the backbone of this team. When teams take and send Braxton Keathley to the wall, they're going to turn around and Devin Maynard's going to be in their face.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
He's the enforcer. And then you take Bryson Dawes, Mr. Logo Coach. Kid last year played point, rounded out his game. I mean, you're up there with the team more than I am, but I expect Coach James to kind of split time with him and Keathley at point, and shooting guard. I expect for him to interchange them too, from time to time. But Dawes is a kid that, he's going to benefit a lot, because he's going to get a lot of open looks because Braxton Keathley's on the floor.
Well, go ahead.
But that's the way that Coach James's team is made up. That's what he wants. He wants Eli Mills, Bryson Dawes out at that three-point line. And then when Bryson draws that double team, I mean, you look with them 2 shooting, you're going to have teams down by 30 and they ain't even going to notice.
Yeah, if Martin County gets hot, especially the way they push the ball, going to be very, very tough. Martin County is another team, a lot like Paintsville or more so Johnson Central, that every piece, if the pieces are willing, will fit together and lock because they've got a shooter. They've got a shooter. Devin Maynard can play the 4 or 5, maybe sometimes even the 3. And the big surprise for me, Mr. Alan Moore, Connor Napier 2.0. The kid can do a lot of different things that other players can't do. I promise you, he's that good at certain things. So they've got all the pieces to be as good as anybody.
They can win region.
It just going to is everybody going to? All right, I'm going to start this spot. I'm going to start this spot like Johnson Central does, or like Paintsville's doing. They've got it together, and they've got the ability and pieces to do that. Like you said, Bryson's going to benefit a lot from Braxton because. Listen, make no mistake about it. Night in, night out, Braxton's going to get every schematic thrown at him. You've seen it, Darryl. So it's going to leave guys open at times, and they're going to have listen. And Braxton's a guy that can very easily do it. Can knock them down with the best of anybody.
He can bury the 3. He can get to the rim. I mean, he's got a great mid-range jumper. Sees the floor well. I mean, Bryson Dawes. People. This year here, they got to gel, and then by the end of the year, you're hoping they're peaking at the right time because Bryson Dawes and Braxton Keathley could be one of the best duos in the mountains heading into their final season.
Yeah. And this would be a good first. They played Knott and won handedly without Dowles wasn't in that, so we'll get Dowles first look on Saturday. But before. I know this is about Saturday, but for Martin County, they probably have the toughest schedule in the 15th region. Go look at it, ladies. It is a gauntlet from game 1. So don't judge them by December. See where they are come March. I caution all fans to do that because you remember Martin County did lose 8 games in a row and won region a few years ago.
I'd say them or Shelby Valley's got the toughest.
Shelby Valley's got a tough one too.
But whenever you take a look, and 2 kids, I'm telling you, these 2 kids will flourish this year because they don't care to play any role that's given to them, and they are a nightmare in the defensive backcourt, and that's Aiden Copeland and Markham.
Yeah, man.
Them 2 kids, Coach, they get after it. They turn you over. They get down the floor. They find the open guy. They're nasty. They dive on floors after loose balls. They rebound the ball well for smaller guards. I mean, these 2 kids, Coach, are extremely fun to watch, and I expect them both to get huge minutes this year, and I expect both of them to go into next year with people saying, hey, them 2 guards can play anywhere.
Aiden Copeland is skilled as any guy in his class, can flat out score it in a variety of ways. And real quick, I mentioned this when Coach James was here. A high-level Division I coach watched practice for 2 days. The guy he kept bringing up was Markham. And he was very impressed with how Markham played within the team. And so that says a lot about a guy that's like seen them all. He coached SGA, Jamal Murray, and he's saying, what about this guy?
He plays both ends.
Yeah. So very impressive, those 2 young men. And, man, oh, man, the pieces are there for Martin County. And the way Coach James plays, up and down, fits Braxton Keathley. Fits, we talked about it a long time ago, who was the best 2 finishers at Prestonburg in transition? Braxton and Jackson. Well, Braxton flourishes in the open court. I believe Bryson's going to flourish in that. And who runs the floor better at his position than Devin Maynard?
No, you're spot on. This Martin County team, everybody's talking about Johnson Central, Lawrence County, Paintsville, but Martin County, they're the team. Everybody, says, you lost Parker Watch, Keathley going, it'll take them a year. I mean, there's a lot of naysayers and a lot of people hoping that Martin County fails.
I think hoping's a big one, right? There's a lot hoping.
They're a lot hoping and a lot rooting for it. And these boys need to use that as a chip. They need to, play with their backs against the wall, and they need to gel together every time. That was, my son, I always say it, my son is one of the kids that loved playing with Braxton because he didn't care to do whatever role he was given. And that's where, that's what they don't understand. Jackson become a star by doing the dirty stuff.
A lot of good things.
You can start in your own role. It ain't got to be scoring. You can start in other areas of the game. If you can dominate the area that, whatever area coach tells you to play, if you can dominate that and you can play that well, you'll be a rock star, and you're going to get more eyes on you than you've ever got, because you've got Braxton Keathley there that's going to have every college in the nation flocking to Martin County games over the next few years. So, here's what, listen, if you're Martin County and you're the teammates are around Braxton, I'm coming every night, and I'm going to show out, and I'm going to show everybody what we're going to do, because at the end of the day, if you shine, you're going to have the most amount of people you've ever had in your life seeing it. But if you fail, you're going to have the most amount of people seeing it.
Right.
So, and that's one thing you're going to get, because I promise you, you're going to see, people, all the time. You're going to see that little bluegrass rival.
Oh man. Love those guys over there.
Bashing, saying, we told you they was going to flop. So that's where these boys need to use that as energy.
I agree with you. You can be great in what you do, and you'll get just as much attention college-wise as if you drop 30 a game. I promise you. Actually, Dave Smart gave that same speech, the coach that was there, to those guys. He sat down and talked to everybody and said, "Look, you could be great, and you'll get just as much eyes on you as if you're an SGA type player, and that's the truth."
Well, listen, I mean, you take Bryson Dawes he's that kind of talent that could benefit, just like Reese Davidson did next to Reed Shepherd. He could be that kid that him and Braxton could be the biggest backcourt in the state. Going in, I look forward to seeing these kids gel and come together.
Right.
That's the thing. Eli. Eli. We've seen it many times. We've seen that kid step up. That everybody was like, wow, that kid can really knock the bottom out of it, shoot the lights out of it. Devin, unbelievable athlete.
Yeah.
This team right here, guys, this is going to be an extremely fun team to watch. Night in, night out, every single night, they're going to have a chance to win no matter who they're playing. And listen, they play on some big stages this year.
Yeah.
Coach Jason James has a chance to bring another region title to Inez, if everything gels. And I'm excited because it starts right here against Wayne. And Wayne's one of them teams that's going to test them.
Yeah.
If Braxton drives to the basket, I promise you, Landon or Colton Priest is nothing easy is going to come. And this is where they're all going to have to bond together and be like, hey, listen, we're a unit, and we're going to go out here and run these boys off the floor. That's what they got to do. Wayne, on the other hand, Wayne's going to come in. They're going to try to get physical. They're going to be nasty, and they're going to try to beat Martin County up and show, it's going to take you all a few more games to gel.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to big Saturday coming.
Yep.
Can we do it tomorrow?
Doug Cottle says, can't wait to watch these games on the 29th. It's going to be a lot of fun watching. Doug, come out to the stadium, join us. We don't want you sitting at home.
No.
We want you there with us,
Yeah.
guys. Come out. We promise you we'll get you on camera. Guys, a lot of events, half-court shots, a lot of stuff given away, great calls. Zip Zone Classic basketball season is here. Coach Kevin Keathley, Darryl McCoy, we want to thank Billy Davis, Coach Jason James, Coach Weffenstedt, and the legend Robin Newsom for all coming down, talking to us on this Zip Zone preview special. And, guys, we got to get out here. Coach Keathley's like, you're keeping me here, and I got to get up in the morning and be at Floyd Central. Tomorrow, Coach, you got the Bonita Compton Classic. So you got the best girls basketball teams are going to be playing at Floyd Central. So, you're going to get to see Kylie Kenner, probably a future Miss Basketball.
Going to be a good one.
Yep, going to be a good one. Tune in. That starts at 12 o'clock. But, guys, for Kevin Keathley, Darryl McCoy, Michael Sean Waller, we will see you bright and early on Saturday morning as we got Martin County and Lenoir kicking things off at 10:15?
Yeah, man, man, it's early.
10:15. Guys, again, want to thank our friends here at KFC. Want to thank Jim Booth, James Mills, Sandy, and the crew at Zip Zone. And I want to thank